And I remember to start the timer this week. Yeah.
Ah, nice. Yeah, we've had like a string of late starts, even when the one you didn't do. So,
And there we go, we have game audio. So, people are going to be, as usual, running through their starting process, whatever that may be. A lot of
from
people.
Ireland, it is a customized background.
Gotta be pretty.
Hey, everyone has their thing. So,
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you're sat here looking at this for, 2, 3, 4 if you're unlucky hours. You gotta look at what you want to look at, right?
yeah. Sometimes it's nice to just look at something, even just the plain background. Just change the color a little, just to give you something a little variety.
Exactly. So, a quick rundown of some of the highlights from the flag set this week. Now, if you tuned in on Saturday night, you're very familiar with this because these were the flags we used in the weekly community race. But if you weren't, we're looking for 7 characters and 10 espers tonight, no dragon requirement. We are also looking for anything we can find that's useful in a shop, because shops are free, however they are only shuffled. You won't find any illuminers, you won't find any fixed dice, anything amazing in the shops, just your normal stuff. No breakables or throwables can be bought, so no rods, no shields, no super balls. Chests do have some random potential though. 20% of all chests are randomized and shiny. Enemy scaling is on progress times 2, which means that anytime our players find a character or an esper, the enemy levels go up by 2. So they'll want to probably get a couple of levels under their belt before they get too many characters going. Anything I'm missing, Keith?
Did we mention no throw? I don't remember. It was in the chat. Because of the fact that you can buy throwables, we removed.
Yes, so the commands that everybody has are random and unique, so one person has each command from the random pool. However, excluded tonight are X-Magic, Shock, Possess, and Throw.
So throw is generally in the pool, but in a case where you can buy lots of throwables at 0 cost, they nicely remove that. But Shock, X-Magic, Possess tend to be normal ones that are taken out just because they are powerful.
Another important setting for people to remember, which we saw the penalty for not remembering on Saturday, all random and fixed encounters can be escaped from. So if you get bogged down into a fight you don't think you can win, just run away.
So you'll see lots of searching for the smoke bombs and warp stones to possibly help. Oh, Von Marlin just found some. To get out of battles, and for warp stones especially, as we always look for them to help get out of certain caves or locations without having to walk all the way out. Because no one wants to do that.
No, nobody wants to do the walk of shame at the end of a long jet.
No. Who would do that?
Fun fact, in this race, I ended up having to do that twice out of locations I've never had to do that from before. That's fun when you're under pressure.
So we have boiled shrimp loading up on shurikens, so that might be a bad sign.
That's an interesting play when you can't use throw.
Yeah, an oversight, but then again, sometimes you just load up just out of just anyways, and then when you don't find it, you just assume it's on somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, I ended up with 11 fire skeins last night in a practice for somebody because I just wasn't paying enough attention, so it could also be an input accident.
Yeah, I tended to go into shops and just buy like a bunch of everything without looking, just to, instead of trying to hem and haw, I just kind of buy a lot of stuff unless I can tell it's something I don't want and just deal. Because not selling anything either. So the one time you hope to get either some money from enemies or money from a chest possibly to give you a little money for the auction house or for Sen.
So Von Marlin there, straight for the free seller's check in the cell in South Figaro basement. Gets himself a Strago. And I'm sure we'll see Nobody War there very soon as well.
And we have Karant doing some early grinding.
Yep, that's my normal tactic too, to be honest. I'll do my treasure checks first, but then I'll grind a couple of levels out just to make sure I can handle whatever's ahead of me.
Yeah, I generally go, especially in these, and not so much in the 2, but more in the 3 progression. But I tend to just go right for some kind of battle just to keep it low. And I actually like finding fixed encounters. I mean, it's similar odds. You never know what you're going to find, but I hope it's something easy, and then by the time I get through, I've already got my level up. But boiled shrimp in the deep recesses of Narsh. Not often you see people head out there into the Mughals' land.
No, not very often at all.
And then we say that, and then we'll watch somebody find something awesome, and then you go, "Wow, I wish I did that." So,
One day it will happen.
Yeah.
Interesting looking fight happening on Karant's screen. Sellers appears to have been imped, which isn't what you want to see.
Which is, Cyan was also imped, and then they flipped. So, because the last time I looked, it was the opposite. So I don't know if this is a new fight, or but there's a lot of imping going on.
But either way, he's probably not very impressed.
Probably not.
That's right, it took 6.5 minutes.
That was good.
I was behaving myself for so long.
Let's see. So yep, so we've still got so Nobody War caught up. Same thing, Strago. So now it's where they go. So I don't know, shopping. I thought Von Marlin was heading. Nope, just
Yeah.
some shop.
I was a little concerned there. I wouldn't go to Magitech Factory now.
Yeah, it's a lot to take on given that it's so many fights. But yeah, it looks like there's a lot more shopping to be had, which is generally. So Karant picking up South Figaro, getting some more, and possibly. I headed in here and I actually skipped the check and came back to it after I fought some bosses. But that's just kind of my thought. It's not terrible double dip, not the worst, but.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I took the check and then came outside and did some random encounters just for that little bit of XP.
That's more common. Like once you're in there, generally you stay in there.
So we've mentioned that they've got free shuffled shops, as we appear to have lost one of our streams for a moment. Yes, you mentioned we have free shuffled shops. What sort of thing are you looking for in these?
So, in this case, it's anything that in the vanilla game you could have found in a shop, which is not tons of things. A lot of the times, I'm looking for earrings and atlas armlets as relics, just a boost to magic, boost to fight. Dragoon boots, always common to find, adding in the jump. So the relics are a big thing. Items, you're always just loading up on any item you can find. Remedies, revivifies, tents. Sleeping bags are probably the biggest thing because you can get so many of them and it saves you the animation of watching a tent. And then armor, I know everyone looks for snipers because they are helpful for fighting from the back row, and also when you have flying enemies. So snipers are really common. Armor and whatnot, you're just gonna, there's not a ton. You just see what is available. Usually you'll find something that's crystal or diamond, and that's gonna help you until you find something better in the check, most likely. Weapons, those snipers, or just a lot of the time I'm looking for back row weapons, really. Those are probably the biggest things there. Otherwise, it depends on how much shopping you really want to do. Some people are willing to go through every shop This one, there's no real, because there's no extra things shuffled in, it's not like you're going to find, a random Illumina in a shop. So usually you don't go through too many unless you are, possibly looking for dried meat or warp stones. And you just, those are going to sit, obviously dried meat with the check for the Veld, and then the warp stones, depending on which checks you end up at, can save you, possibly, up to 10 minutes. So we've
Okay.
seen there's a lot of good items in these opening checks. Boiled shrimp and soon to be found some fixed dice in South Figaro. There's an offering in, I always forget the town, down south of the capital. Albrook, that's the name. Sorry, there was an offering down there, and then another, I believe, there's a free Illumina in South Figaro?
There was, yes.
I couldn't remember where it was, but I know they have it.
Just want to say sorry for the issues with Von Marlin's stream there. I think we've got them all sorted out now. Yeah. Hopefully it's coming through okay on everybody else's end.
Nobody wore over at Doma. And now done with those cranes.
Yep, Doma, a good place to go in the early game. It's a nice quick check, one boss and done.
Yep, and then you get a few treasure chests after you're done. So,
unless you're me, in which case you pick those up on your way to do Cyan's Dream, because you've got to go into the castle anyway.
True. So, Tritalk Esper. Tier 2. Lovely to have early. Because there's been many a seed where you don't have healing. So, finding Tier 2 early is never a bad thing.
Yeah, it's always nice and handy to have.
Oh. Is nobody wore grinding? Or was that a Google charm thing?
I don't know. Given that he's not running away, I'm going to assume grinding.
Or he just saw the enemies and said, oh, that's not hard, I can take that.
So, Carrot has his Strago and is now heading into his Doma boss fight, and Boiled Shrimp is about to go and get his Strago as well.
And Von Marlin picking up, so he did the World of Ruin side of Albrook, because, wait, this is Albrook, right? Yeah. Keep forgetting. Because there's one extra treasure chest, so I generally do that as well. And some black belts. Another thing that's good to, wall rings and black belts, another good thing to find. Just useful to have on hand. Especially if you have someone who's dealing some damage, just throw a black belt on them. So.
See, for me, that extra treasure in Albrook it's a big toss-up between, do I want that extra treasure, or do I want to lose the time from running into Doomgaze? Because I know the one time I go to the World of Ruin, it's going to happen.
Yeah, I was rewatching some streams, and saw that you ran into Doomgaze.
It happens to me a lot. It's not just rolling seeds that I have bad luck with.
No, yeah, I think I've only done it once. I'm fairly lucky, apparently. I mean, I try to keep that flying to a minimum, but yeah, you never know when he's going to pop up and who's going to be flying around.
So, Boiled Shrimp putting those fixed dice straight on Strago. They're a decent option. Defense ignoring damage, a fixed amount of damage depending on the way the dice roll and your level. And they do the same damage from the back row. So if you can get past the randomization of them and the fact that they're a bit slow, decent damage output.
So Von Marlin finding out that the Sen Esper, 12,000. Pretty good bargain, all things considered, especially in a seed where money is hard.
Indeed, because don't forget, since the shops all sell everything for 0 GP, that means they buy everything for 0 GP. So no money to be gained there. It's your random battles, your chests, that's the only place you're getting cash from.
And we have a burning house by Nobody War.
A burning house with battles he's not escaping from. It's an interesting tactic. It's a lot of battles.
When he jumped in, he started looking like he was doing, and maybe it's just a thing he did, but he was doing a run, and then didn't. So, but it didn't. Obviously, he didn't see like an error. So, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Again, I like fixed encounters early, just to boost some levels. So, if you like that, and these are fairly manageable right now. So.
Yeah, there's a definite bonus to taking the fixed encounters early. I mean, I know where I did most of my grinding, and hopefully we'll see it from some of our runners tonight.
Yeah, I chose Opera House fairly early, just for that grind, because it's like 4 or 5, depending on what's there. But then again, every once in a while, you'll get into and you can control it a little bit more because you have healing. It's not Serpent Trench. It's not Magitech Factory where once you're on, and you can't do anything in between. But every once in a while, you'll get some of those fixed encounters that are level 90 magic, and you don't like it.
Yeah, you don't want to play with them. They're not fun.
No.
So Carrot's still beating down the cranes here. One's down, one left to go. So we have Boiled Shrimp debating whether or not he wants some MP recovery. Over in Jador. And where is Von Marlin going? He's going to the Opera House, as we were just talking about.
Also, a good thing to look for in shops, I just forgot. Because of the command set, Cyan has tools. So you can find tools for free. You can get at least, 4 of them. 4, maybe 5. 5 of them at least. Flash. You could find a flash, a drill, a noise blaster, auto crossbow, bio blaster. Those should be available in some shop, but as long as you can get some of those, that's some good early offense.
Yep, I'd say of all of them, you're looking mostly for the drill and the noise blaster.
Mm-hmm. Nobody War has found Inferno. Appropriately named.
Yeah, often not something you want to run into early. He's also taken the option of equipping an offering with his Illumina. I'm not sure about that play.
Yeah, so Illumina, obviously very strong. Also works in the back row, which is helpful, especially early on. But when you put the offering on it, you lose the possibilities of getting the pro proc.
You also lose the ability to determine where the damage goes.
Yes.
And you don't actually do any more damage, because an Illumina naturally, using your MP, does double damage. An offering halves the damage, so it actually only does 2 times damage, the normal damage anyway. So for me, I don't equip the offering there. I'd try and put it with fixed ice if possible, something like that, which ignores the damage penalty from the offering. And I'd just swing that Illumina, at the target I want for lots of damage and the chance of that Pearl proc, especially with Celes' magic stat.
Boiled Shrimp finding the World of Balance to send for 61,000.
That's a hard pass.
Yes, I did that same thing, and I said, okay, well, that's not happening.
Yeah, I did the exact same thing, and that was, nope, not doing that, thanks.
Oh, Inferno couldn't take the heat.
Oh, dear.
It's rare that you have that burning house with an Inferno. And a flame shield to boot.
But yep, as my colleague so rightly put, Inferno goes out in a blaze of glory. And nobody was moving on with no progression. Unfortunately. Carrot, by the looks of it, heading up to Mount Zozo. But first, he's checking the clock puzzle. Another thing we don't see very often. It's a very slow check for one chest, and yeah, it can be worth it, it can not.
Pretty much any chest could be worth it, and that is
not worth it.
Not worth it.
A relic that's only useful on one character, and even then, it's not that useful.
Yeah, the last time I used the Blizzard Orb, Doom came out. Not useful. He likes it.
So you could say your chances of it being useful were doomed?
Put on ice.
That works too. I'm proud of you.
Well, as long as they're new puns.
So Karen here is going to be going through Mount Zozo, full of treasure, full of also a dragon, which he may or may not, I would end with, may not, want to try and take on at these levels.
Are these dragons scaled?
They are not.
Yes. So
Meanwhile,
that would be a very bad fight.
Von Marlin wandering into a Doomgaze on the opera stage, that's not a thing you want to see. Although, looking at the damage that Strago just put out, that might be a thing he wants to see.
I would say he must have just used... He's just breaking rods.
Hey, if it works.
As I've heard from many good racer, they just swear by rods and shields and breaking them for very good reasons.
Yeah, there are certain bosses out there that you want to get moved as fast as possible, so rods are a very good option. And Doomgaze is at the top of that list for me.
Very much. Another good reason against him, that Illumina, if you can get that pro, if you had that way of getting the pro proc, would be great too.
Yeah, very handy.
I saved my pro rods for much later in the game, and it was helpful. But I do, there's not much reason to hold on to them. If you can use them, you should use them.
Well, Carant's finding a dead check at Mount Zozo, which is a bit of a shame. No progress there. He does, however, get a behemoth suit, a very good piece of armor. Nobody wore his... Go on.
It's a lot better than having to go all the way through a burning house to find a dead check.
True. Nobody wore heading up to his very own encounter with Doomgaze, so we'll see how he handles that. Well, Shrimp doing a little bit more retail therapy, and Von Marlin heading over to Doma to fight the cranes.
I see a dragon.
Oh no, Charon, don't do it! I hope he saved first.
I didn't notice.
Oh no.
Valiant. Oh.
Well, he reset.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a quick recognize, at least.
That's a big oof.
Ah, nobody wore him. Running away. So very much aware now.
Yes.
Not the worst things to fight, but there were 6 of them. Oh, wow, yeah. All over the... Yeah. Rhodoxes and Grease Monks are a welcome sight. Nobody were trying to dance with the rat, and it, no, not so much. Huh? Boiled shrimp doing some more grinding outside of the masa. Oh, Von Marlin getting Tri-Talk after taking out the cranes.
So, for those who have tuned in a little bit late perhaps, just a quick reminder of what we're doing today. This here is a restreamed race of the first week of the Kefka Grand Prix. It's a tournament. We're starting with an 8-week league format, in which everybody gets to take part, and we have 47 entrants. Each week we're going to be trying to restream at least 2 sets of runners, probably always on a Wednesday and a Friday, as scheduling allows. There'll be a different set of flags each week, and after the 8 weeks are up, the 4 players at the top of the league table will be moving on to a Battle Royale style knockout phase for 3 weeks. So I'll be doing this until into the new year. If you want more information, feel free to hop on to the Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide Discord, where you can find out everything your heart desires. Yeah,
it should be a good run. I'm pretty pretty excited to see how it plays out, especially with so many people. So
Yeah, very much. I mean, what's so good about this is we've got such a big range of older veteran runners and brand new runners. For example, tonight we've actually got a lot of newer runners on this restream. Most of these people haven't been seen in too many races, so it's good to see people getting involved.
yeah, I've seen a lot of the Courant very, very brand new. Nobody wore in boiled shrimp. I see casually playing from time to time. So it's and then Von Marlin's still a fairly new, very active, but still on the new, definitely on the new end. So Von Marlin into the Magitech factory. We have 2 burning houses. Burning house is a not often the popular play, but everybody's going for it. So apparently we're wrong.
I think a lot of the thought behind going into Burning House here is that you can escape from these battles, which makes them much quicker to get away from.
Yeah, if you recognize that, or they just really wanted to do it. But
yeah, I mean, we have had these flags for, let's say, well over a week now at this point, so people have had plenty of chance to practice this flag set.
Oh, and then Nobody War in Science Dream fighting the number 024 Dream Stooges check.
And Von Marlin in Magitech Factory very early. I would not be comfortable being there right now.
This is close to where I hit. I think I hit Doma and Opera House, and then might have went there. But the Opera House did give me some extra levels by fighting everything. So
yes, but I'm a big chicken.
Number 24 gone. Alexander the prize. Bolt 2, Life 2. Not too shabby, except many people can equip it. At least Celis can. Another problem with this flag set. Equipping Espers, not as useful as always. About half, I feel like a third of them it can be equipped as when they were coming out. So at least one character, usually. Delahan from Von Marlin still happening. Some more Burning House and more Dream Sequence.
Yep, so we have Nobody War fast asleep, taking a nap.
Delahan gone.
Very good. 1 boss down. 1 or 3 more to go.
Yes.
So the perk of Magitech Factory here is if you're struggling after the first 2 checks, you can warp out. You can say, no, I don't really fancy these other 2 bosses right now. I'm just going to head off, grind for some more levels, get some more espers, some better magic. But once you hit the switch and head down the elevator towards the minecarts, you are locked in. You cannot escape at that point.
Bismarck for defeating Delahan. A lot of confusion in Courants. A lot of flare stars being hit on the Rios by Rios. Interesting.
Hey, if it worked.
Yeah, more. I mean, I guess it makes sense a flare star inside of this burning house. It's a very themed seed for this house.
Boiled Shrimp trying to slip past that last bomb before the door and unfortunately gets dragged back into a fight.
I don't know how they get, but I've never made it past. I'd never make it past. They always get, it never works for me.
Yeah, those bombs are jerks.
And a Vargas, where number 24 normally is. Another good thing to see.
Yep, Vargas not too bad of a fight, especially quick if you have Blitz. Or, yep, the Bioblast is probably going to do a little bit of damage if it manages to proc the poison.
Yeah, would guess half the time to see if it works, but oh, just keep try talking. There we go. Illumina with a Pearl proc should be pretty good.
Yep, Illumina always pulling out the damage.
So Vargas down. We have one Inferno, still in the Burning House, and an Arapa for Nobody War.
Illumina, by the way, is so good if you don't know, because not only is it pretty much the best weapon in the game, it's also the best shield in the game. Illumina provides, I believe it's 50 points to block and magic block, correct me if I'm wrong, which is very, very useful.
Very much. And no more Narapa. Not shocking.
Yep, Nobody was sending Narapa for a Nappa, and picking himself up Realm for his trouble.
Let's see how quickly Nobody War tries to equip Realm to see what works.
Indeed, because I missed a trick with Realm, unfortunately. I didn't notice it until I got into Kefka's Tower. It would have been really useful before then.
I found it right away. And that defined a lot of my seed.
And collecting the third check from Cyan Stream, the Maduin Esper. Never forget, if you're doing Cyan Stream, once you've gotten the first two items, you need to go back to the throne room and pick up that last thing from a chest. Logris
taking a little minecart ride.
Logris Spike in chat, so I guess block works properly in this. Yes, it does. We have a number of bug fix patches on the randomizer that can be turned on or off. One of which properly enables block, and so darkness becomes a thing again, and goggles become questionably useful again. We can block out the sketch glitch, Vanished Doom, I believe also gets removed. There's some very good quality of life changes in there.
Useless Telstars who don't really give you much. Yeah, there we go. Just smoke bomb out of there, Von Marlin. Telstars give you pretty much nothing. So they don't take much, but no real reward. Karant still grinding through the Burning House. Boiled shrimp back to shopping.
And Nobody War going back to Descent to pick up Stray for the 12,000 GP. Strength +2 and Fire 2 on that Esper. Very useful.
Karant checking a random chest in the Burning House and finding some Force Armor. Also quite useful. And we have a leader on the minecart. The most welcome sight of all.
Leader, one of the funniest bosses to face, because there are so many different ways to kill him, you have to choose which to use.
He is poisoned now.
He's dead now.
Bye.
He's gone off to the great minecart in the sky. As Karant comes up to his very own Inferno fight, let's see how he handles it.
And Boiled Shrimp heading to the cranes, I believe. Yes. Or it's not shocking to see a lot of that.
Ooh, that's not what you want to see. Von Marlin using sleeping bags to heal up before the fourth boss fight of Magitech. Perhaps he doesn't know that you actually get a story heal here before you face the final battle.
Well, at least they were free.
Very true, very true.
An Ifrit in the sky.
With diamonds?
With Shiva.
Who uses diamond dust, so technically yes. I don't know if her ability is actually called diamond dust in Final Fantasy VI. I don't think I've ever summoned Shiva.
Yeah, I don't remember the name though.
There are certain espers that are very useful and certain that aren't. I know that I'd be looking for, obviously, Fenrir or Golem or Phantom to deal with calmness in the final battle. Siren, extremely useful, along with Palador, Raiden or Odin. How about you? Anything else you'd add onto that list?
If you like to be on the lucky side, maybe Ragnarok for the dragons. I don't have that luck. Some people do.
Thanks, Zelfa.
Otherwise, no, I think that covers it. We have a ghost train at Esper Mountain. Not terrible.
He is a long way from the rails there, though.
He definitely has gone off the rails. So there was some Cyan not having a good go of it in the Carant's Inferno fight. Keeps getting turned to stone. But I believe you just have to take out at least one arm to prevent that.
You do, but then some nastier things start happening.
Yeah. Inferno, obviously, being in Kefka's tower in vanilla, so very much a strong competitor that you don't want to let sit around for very long.
So, for us, we'll help you making a very valid point in chat right now. Ifrit and Shiva neutralize all elements except the one they're weak to, I believe, other than absorbing their element. So, having an Illumina and getting a Pearl prop, not ideal. All you're going to do with that is waste time, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is where you hope you got the right spell. There are a couple Espers and some shields that you could use to get at least Fire 2 and Ice 2. Or hopefully you still have a Rod to break. But yeah, otherwise you're just going to be apparently flashing them.
Yeah, and you want to take anything that would ignore defense, like Meteor, Flare, Drills, Fixed Ice, obviously, very useful.
So Inferno's gone. A Flame Shield for Kurant. We have Boiled Shrimp heading into the Opera House to find Doomgaze. So that'll be interesting. A little bit stronger than the last fights, but I don't know what the levels are. Hopefully not 5 or multiple of.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah.
Von Marlin finally takes down Ifrit and Shiva, so he'll be moving on to his next check imminently.
One of the very first times I watched someone play this, it was somebody who ended up fighting Doomgaze, and every single member was a 5, and they all died.
Doomgaze knows, man. Doomgaze knows.
And that was Zelfer.
Yep.
That was the very first time I'd seen someone really play it.
So, nobody wore in the Serpent Trench. Another interesting choice of check in most flag sets. However, today, when you can run away from everything, probably not an issue. Though, given that he's trying to flee with LNR, maybe he doesn't have any smoke bombs yet?
Possibly. So that was the Esper Mountain yielded Gao, which has now opened this. For anyone not aware of where this came from, but that's where his path is leading him. More fans of the opera with Kurant heading. Von Marlin heading to Ebit's Rock to go find some coral.
Yep, everybody's favorite counting minigame.
I saw him open a 5 to start. Solid. Though now he's open to 1.
Yeah, if you start with a 5, you're pretty much guaranteed that every other chest will be 1, because Murphy's Law.
Well, at least at 11, by my count. Oh, not bad, some 3s. So
Nobody were having a very unfortunate encounter with a Hoover up there in the Trent.
I made it out with about the same success when I was in there. Because I got away from Hoover, but Hoover did the damage quickly. And about to find out what Boiled Shrimp's levels are. Or at least what they aren't.
So, just a reminder, if you're watching this and thinking, I'd like to give that a crack, hop on to the Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide Discord server, where there's a bunch of friendly people waiting to help you out, answer all your questions, and give you a hand getting started. And if you're wondering how helpful we are, well, Keith, you're fairly new to the community, aren't you?
Yeah, about over the summer. End of July. August. I jumped in and started doing some races, watching and chatting. So fairly new, yeah. And then even then, the amount of people that have joined since then makes me seem like I've been around for a little while.
Yeah.
It also helps that I've been doing a lot of the weekly community races, so my name has been around for a little bit more. And I just watch a lot of the people that are very good at this and try to learn as much as I can from them.
Yeah, but you also watch me, which means you learn things you really shouldn't.
Yeah, I try and find. I like to see what things can go crazy in a race.
So it looks like Boiled Shrimp will likely be heading up to Magitech soon, after a quick grind fight in Vector.
So what was that? A Seraphim for Nobody War after the trench.
And a Doomgaze about to appear on Karen's screen.
And a Shiva for Von Marlin. Boiled Shrimp who decided to fight the old lady in the closet.
So Current getting lucky there, nobody taken out by the level 5 Doom. Now he just has everything else Doomgaze can throw at you to weather.
So I'm assuming Boiled Shrimp is heading into the factory. So not a bad. Obviously, you never know what you're going to get out of the Magitech factory, but in this case, it is 3 espers. So very once you get out of there, it's almost a third of them right there.
So if we take a little look at how our runners are doing right now, Nobody War on 5 of 7 characters and 5 of 10 espers, so doing rather well. Not far behind Von Marlin with 3 characters but 6 espers. And then Boiled Shrimp and Current tied on 1 esper and 3 characters.
Nobody War heading into Narsh in the world of balance. So looking to do another much maligned check. Kefka and Narsh. Time consuming and you can't warp out of there. So people not a fan.
No, it's not one of my preferred spots, gonna be honest.
But once you get up there, you can see if something's there. And it's Edgar in this case, so...
Well, Nobody War is looking for a character, so... Well, he's looking for 2, in fact.
Yeah, Gao did not make the cut. Oh, Doom casting Doom, or Doomgaze casting Doom. Von Marlin dreaming.
Another Doom comes out of Doomgaze. It's not looking great for Current.
Yeah, eventually I feel like Doomgaze is just spamming Doom.
Doomgaze, more like Doom for days. And another one, there we go. Looking very bad right now in the Opera House.
Nobody War waiting out the soldiers to get out of the way, and he might not be happy with what he finds here. It's
Atma at Kefka at Narsh. That's going to be... It's got a lot of HP to take down, and potentially some really nasty attack.
So I believe Atma likes Pearl, so the offering will actually help in this case.
Yes, Atma is vulnerable to the 3 major elements, but absorbs all 5 of the minor elements.
So one case where that offering is actually helpful, but that also means that the realm is now gone. but Nobody War did not check to see what realm could equip.
To be fair,
offering, for those who obviously it depends on what you want, but my strategy was every time I had a new character, I checked to see, because Strago can use the fixed dice, but not the offering. Celis can use the offering, but not the fixed dice. So I had to check everyone just in case. So for those who don't know, Realm can use both.
indeed.
But Strago just busted out 3,500 damage with his dice, so that's pretty great.
It's better than 35, which can happen.
That happens often. Especially if you're in the early goings of the game.
Carrot, meanwhile, sticking in there with his Doomghost fight, not letting it beat him down.
Von Marlin heading into the strange mountain section of the dream.
Yep,
That
not
ends-
far away now, just in a wrapper.
And Edgar now in the party. So Edgar in this seed has sword tech, normally for Cyan. But if you go through the dream sequence, it now is maxed out. So very much a great find to find it, especially when it's maxed out. Oh. So Karan made it through. Got the Phoenix Esper for the battle. Bullet Shrimp on to Vargas and Von Marlin on to Narapa.
Yep, as Nobody War finishes the long, long walk out of Nash.
So another good, and I feel like it's one of the more popular flags. The characters start average level. So Edgar, who just got picked up, is now level 24. So most of the time, and especially in older seeds, they would have come in at like level 3. So it would have made it almost impossible to get them in quickly. But now you can just insert them if they work for you.
So, both Nobody War and Von Marlin have the same amount of progression. Which of those positions would you rather be in right now?
I don't remember what checks did it. I would rather be Nobody War with 6 characters. I feel like you should be able to make it up on the Esper count, but every seed's a little different. But I would rather have the extra characters at this point.
See, I'm the opposite. I'd rather have it fairly balanced, needing the same amount of each thing. Just because that makes it so that you're more likely to get good things from chat, or something unique. Because if you're at 6 characters and you go into somewhere like the Figaro sequence, and do 3 checks one after the other, and you get 3 characters, you're going to be cursing.
I guess it depends on which checks you do have left, because there are a few that can't be characters. So this one is fairly open. There are a lot of choices in this one, but overall, I feel like I've had too many seeds where I'm searching for a character, or everything is an Esper, and that one character is at one spot.
By the way,
having the characters also just. It actually could be rough because he has 6 characters, but he has a lot more checks open, which means that his choices are now more open. So he has to see what he can get out of it, which can be hard when you have. It's kind of nice when you have limited choices sometimes.
By the way, if you are in chat and you're watching this and you have any questions, feel free to ask and we'll answer as many as we can during the race. So Karen now dealing with Dullahan, the first boss in the Magitech factory, as Boiled Shrimp is in the minecart out.
And more shopping for Von Mile.
Picking up a drill, which is very useful.
And a debilitator, which is not. But the drill is great to have. Nobody War doing a little inventory management, assessing what people can equip.
Is he setting up a Dragoon realm? I've seen some things in my time.
And Von Marlin heading into Ozer's, checking out some art.
So leader goes down for Boiled Shrimp there, just one boss left in that sequence. As was just said, Von Marlin in Owl's mansion, a place where you do have to fight a couple of forced encounters to get through to your check. Which, of course, don't forget, you can just run away from. He isn't.
I can't remember what I fought, because I definitely went here. But I didn't see sea flowers. It can vary a little bit. But
yeah, every encounter slot has, you know, a couple of different options it could be, so.
I did not see any of the fixed, out of all of them, I did not see anything that was terrible, which is nice.
Well, of course you didn't. I didn't roll this seed. No Intangiers, no Doom Dragons hiding here.
Oof, yeah.
A reference there to the weekly community race we have every Saturday night at 7 PM US Eastern Time, where this weekend just gone it was absolute chaos at the Imperial Camp. You could almost say it was beyond chaos, but you couldn't because that's a different randomizer. So, Logger Spike there asking, I assume Possess is not included. Actually, it is. Tonight it is excluded, and it usually is because, as you know, it can defeat any boss in the game, including Final Kefka. But yeah, extra commands that get added are things that you would normally need a relic to equip, like GP Rain, Control, Capture, Shock and Possess, as have already been discussed in chat, and also Health. There's also X Magic you can get as an ability, which is the effect you get from equipping a Gembot. So yeah, plenty of options.
So Nobody War headed to Mount Zozo and has also decided to try and fight a dragon. It's going to be rough.
Possess does not permanently remove the character. What it does is it sends them back to the airship.
And Von Marlin finding a guardian in Hauser's mansion.
Yep, Guardian can be a problem because the longer that battle lasts, the worse it gets.
So Boiled Shrimp has finished his Magitech factory run, while Karan is at the 2nd level, Vargas. And Nobody War is trying to hold on. This will be interesting. He's doing some damage, but I think it's this clean sweep.
Yeah, this clean sweep could definitely sweep his party if he's not careful.
Sellers avoid that Illumina.
Yeah, Sellers is Illumina doing work right there, but not enough work unfortunately, and Nobody War falls to the dragon. So Blue Dragon takes a 2nd victim for today.
Boiled Shrimp appears to be heading Yep. So heading most likely to the Kefka at Narsh as well to go find himself an Edgar. Vargas has been dealt with by Karant. Moving on to find a leader, and meanwhile, Nobody War just going to find his behemoth suit. Oh, and Guardian has gone down for Von Marlin, where I believe he will not be happy with what he finds.
I don't know. I mean, it's always good to, cheer on the removal of a Kefka's Tower boss. Guardian, possibly the best of them, but still, as I said, can cause problems.
And another set of fixed dice. So Von Marlin putting it back on Strago. I did not notice what Realm has. An enhancer.
It's a good strategy. If Realm can learn some decent magic, she would make a very good mage. She does have, I believe, the highest natural magic power in the game.
I thought he was just looking to see if Realm could have the dice, but I didn't see it, so... We will see. Nobody War, round 2 with the dragon. Interesting. Does Stunner work on a blue dragon? No. No. There's that answer.
It does not. There are some statuses the blue dragon can take. For example, Slow will affect blue dragon. Because I believe blue dragon is the one that normally has the Rippler law to transfer its statuses onto its enemy.
Boiled Shrimp fighting Atma with some Dragoons. Uh-oh. There's that pro-proc.
Yep, that's not what you want to see. And then, just as I mentioned it, there is the Rippler, the status exchange.
Status exchange. Or Stunner. Stunner still does a good amount of damage. But a lot more helpful if you can actually get the stop.
Yep, Stunner does damage based on magic, I believe, rather than strength. So, if that's the highest stat, go for it.
Making very good use of those sword techs. A lot of them. Karana hitting the rails. And Von Marlin heading to find a ghost train. Oh. Strago. Oh. His Strago might be jumping with the fixed dice. So
it's an interesting strategy.
Still has the random damage, but does get the 1.5 time boost. But that was a huge hit that Strago landed there again. So. And I didn't notice, but the ghost train's already gone.
Yep, he had to move on to another station. So we're being asked in chat to explain fixed dice and jump. So, if you jump with a set of fixed dice, you still get the randomized damage, however it does gain the damage benefit from jumping, and you skip the dice rolling animation. And if you have a dragon horn as well, well, you're in damage country then.
Did Nobody War win?
I believe he reset out.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Those dragons are tough in this one.
Yeah, unscaled dragons without any, seriously overpowered offense can be a problem.
So Boiled Shrimp making the walk out of Narsh. Karant in the final fight against Ifrit and Shiva. Von Marlin just exited Esper Mountain.
And
So
it's going
nobody
straight
wore-
for Serpent Trench.
Yep, and nobody wore looks probably going to Owzers. But first, shopping.
Nobody will maybe regretting trying that dragon so many times towards the end of the seed, as he has now fallen behind Von Marlin.
Very close. Because this will get, Von Marlin will get one more Esper. So that'll be close. Then it'll be a hunt. Now then Von Marlin will be on the hunt for characters.
Indeed.
Meanwhile, Nobody War is gonna get some more fixed dice.
And Boiled Shrimp is chopping again. So another question from chat. Does Colosseum have any relevance in this? Yes and no. In most flag sets, the Colosseum fights and rewards are randomized, so you have no idea what relevance it would have, but if you feel brave enough, and I've never seen anyone do it so far, but if you feel brave enough, go on in there.
Yeah. The most relevance I've seen from it are when we've done spoiler log races. And for anyone who knows that, you can generate a seed and add a spoiler log, which will actually tell you everything about it. And occasionally we do a race with it where you can kind of plan in advance. Also, we've done team races with that log where one person has access and the other person does not. Otherwise, and it will tell you the results of everything in the Colosseum, but it's a lot of results, and you have to look through the whole thing.
Indeed. So let's see, Boiled Shrimp heading through the Figaro Cave, likely heading up towards the Figaro Basement check, I think. Current still being walled fairly adequately by Ifrit and Shiva. As I say that, he beats them, so that's a good example of the commentator's curse working in reverse.
So, ooh. Yeah, Boiled Shrimp about to have some fun. Because Or wait, where are we?
He's in the other one.
Oh, wrong side of it.
If this was the other world, Boiled Shrimp would be about to cry, but he doesn't yet have lock.
We do not have that check unlocked. So.
Yes.
Unlocked.
I see what you did there.
Ah.
So how has the seed been so far? Any trolley nonsense? Honestly, not really. Been fairly calm so far. We've had a Doom Gaze up at the Opera House, but nobody's really struggled with it. Blue Dragon on Mount Zozo's been giving people the business, but everybody's basically just given up on that.
This was a good first seed. It's a fairly open one. It's not a seed where everything's gated behind a check nobody likes. Like there's options, which is nice. There's lots of different things you can do in this one. So it's I think it's a fairly nice one for week one. Some people will obviously will have some good times with it, but the low end, it's not going to be some of the seeds where we've had, some very, very drawn out battles because everyone's gated behind it.
So for those wondering how the flag sets are going to work for the Kefka Grand Prix, by the way. So this first week's flag set was picked by the creator of Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide, that is Atmatech. Next week's were picked at random from the 47 entrants, and Al Raidris will be picking the week 2 flag set. Following that, the flags will be picked by somebody in the bottom half of the league table to give them a chance to pick flags they'll like and maybe give themselves a bit of an advantage. So it's going to be very different every week. So we have Boiled Shrimp finding Rexol in the Pit of Tentacle. Not too bad a fight, but not somewhere you really want to want to be. Thankfully, he doesn't use Zinger. That's one of the flags that is enabled tonight. So he will just stand there and take whatever you can give him. Karant heading into Zend, hopefully to pick up his 12,000 GP Esper. As Von Marlin makes his way up Mount Zozo for a free behemoth suit.
A Rexol in the basement.
So we have a comment in chat. It seems overwhelming with what can be changed from Dr. Mambo. I see how it could look like that, but one important thing to remember when you're coming into Worlds Collide is you can choose how much you want to change or how much you want to leave the same. Flags are fully customizable. None really force any others, so just go in and do whatever it is you want to do.
Plus, we have a lot of presets. And the presets, so there's a couple options on that first page to pick, a specific type, whether it be a challenge, whether it be something for a beginner. So they do have some layouts that kind of take that aspect of choosing all these flags out of your hands, which is nice when you first look at it, because it can be there's a lot of things. But you can pick one of the presets and just run with it, and then as you start learning more, you can tweak a few of those flags here and there.
Very much, yes. And we do also have a pretty big community of people who make asynchronous races. So what they'll do is they'll pick a flag set, they'll roll a seed, and all you have to do is join the channel, run the race, and off you go.
And sometimes people just go in and blindly change the flags to see what might happen.
I would never do that, and I resent the accusation. I did that recently and made a seed that I couldn't possibly complete.
Oh, Von Marlin, we have another blue dragon.
Everybody wants a piece of this blue dragon today, and I just don't understand why.
It's tempting. Apparently, everybody just says, "Hey, why not?"
Like, I must have done at least 10 runs on this flag set. I've not fought a dragon once.
I did, but I waited until I fought them when I was in my mid-30s for level. And I felt comfortable that I could beat one and get that really good experience. But otherwise, yeah, I don't mess with them early. So Boiled Shrimp got Mog and then went to Figaro Throne to get Ragnarok. And we've got Karant heading to the Kefka at Narsh fight. And Nobody War heading to Figaro Basement. Oh, Von Marlin. Just as we say that, Von Marlin dealt with the Blue Dragon. That's going to be a big boost. So, yeah, lots of levels, lots of spells to be learned there. So that is a big help right now. And a Dragon Horn. So, I got a Dragon Horn. I actually think I fought the Blue Dragon. And I got the Dragon Horn. And I wanted to throw it on someone, but I had a lot of problems equipping it, because the equipables in this race are a little more random.
Indeed, yes.
And Von Marlin also going to get a behemoth.
So we did have a question about where you can find a schedule of upcoming races to make sure that you catch them all live. Well, they're on the link I sent, the Randomania calendar. That will show all races that have been booked in. However, we're not booking them in a week in advance just yet, because it's very much going to depend on runners and stream staff schedules. But my current plan is to have a race every Wednesday and Friday for the Kefka Grand Prix. And then we do also have our regular Saturday night weekly community race. Which, this week, you may notice that Saturday just happens to be spooky Halloween, and we may have something special planned for you. So, definitely come along and watch that if you can.
So, unfortunately, Karant made a kind of a mad push into the Kefka at Narsh fight and ran into some ogres who turned him into a zombie. So generally what you'll see a lot of people do at Kefka at Narsh is basically there are 2 points where if you just sit there, the first wave will run by, and then you find another point, and the second wave will run by. So one of those things you kind of learn, I learned it just by watching people, Otherwise, yeah, it's a rough one.
Oh, stop the presses for a moment. We have our first brave entrant into the Fanatics Tower.
Yeah, I just saw that too.
Von Marlin heading up the Tower of Doom to try and get an Amaro.
Yeah, so a couple things on that. A, it's a long walk up and down. You have to have the magic ability, and you have to want to get Umaro. Apologies to Rav, who really likes him, but I do sleep on the Sasquatch.
So, going back quickly to the Kefka Nash thing, there is also a minor glitch you can perform if you have the timing down, where you can walk past the soldier as they're moving and you won't get into a fight with them. But it requires some really good timing.
Yeah. Will Von Marlin, he is currently in the room with the dragon. Will he attempt to fight this one after having confidence from the last one?
Well, he's loading up on espers that might be useful in a fight. Here he goes.
And it's a
gold dragon. That's
dragon.
Not much of a threat. With us having element scaling on, if you have anyone who resists or absorbs thunder damage, it's a free fight. So, another question from chat. How do you access Gogo's Cave? Well, you go to the World of Ruin, you take a party of characters, the less the better. You fly on over to Triangle Island, you get into a fight with Zone Eater who is not randomized, and you get swallowed. Simple as that.
Yes, one of the things they did make sure is that they left that alone so that you can get it. So Karant has successfully made it past the soldiers, and now has found himself an Atma. Nobody War found Mog, so he now has his 7 characters, and is about to go, most likely, find that Ragnarok on the throne, which will put Von Marlin and Nobody War each at 14, but a different set.
Yes, indeed, and I think I would still be rather looking for a balance rather than just espers right now, because so many checks are now much less useful for Nobody War.
Oh no, Nobody War. Oh no, heading down into the ancient castle actually, because that's generally one of the other ones. Another one that people can be rough, just like Fanatic's Tower, because you can't warp out. You gotta trek in and trek out.
There we go. Our wonderful tracker confirming that Nobody War already has the Figaro Throne Esper. He got it in World of Balance, I believe.
So that's already factored in there.
Yes.
Still close then.
The question is whether this dragon fight benefits Von Marlin or just slows him down and closes the gap.
I think any dragon fight is going to be, it depends on how long it takes, but the levels you will get will be super beneficial come the final battle, which is great.
Boiled Shrimp going into the often overlooked treasure room at Doma Castle. Not somewhere you see people go very often because it's quite a long walk just for 2 chests.
Very true. So Nobody War getting a Tarato and doing a little dance with a dragon on his way out.
So yeah, just a quick little bit of advertising then. We do have on Friday at the same time as tonight, 7 PM US Eastern Time, we will have another of these 4-way races. Between, as it stands, we will have Darkfault, we'll have Zeltha, we'll have Fraggle, and we'll have Siberian Bull. And then Saturday night at the same time, 7 PM US Eastern, we will have this Halloween-themed community race. And I believe they're all scheduled on this exact channel, so make sure you come along and check them out. And if you're enjoying watching the runs tonight, why not follow our runners? And maybe if you're, particularly weird, follow the stream staff. You'll get to see a lot more Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide content, as well as I'm sure some other games. I saw some weird things during the setup for the restream tonight. Boiled Strip was playing some Super Metroid. Current was playing some Mario RPG, so plenty of content to see.
See, Current dealt with Atma. Let's see. Nobody War exiting the ancient castle. Von Marlin got an Aegis shield at the top and then found Air Force flying around the top of the building. And Boiled Shrimp, the last time to enter the Cyan's Dream, or at least the third. But yes, entering into Cyan's Dream, which it felt like a while ago for most of them. Actually, no. Oh, Karan has not as well, which is about right. But yeah, Nobody War went there super early, so.
Indeed. But Air Force goes down, as you would expect. A couple of people with the Bolt 2 spell. Not too much to worry about there.
Now just the long walk down.
Indeed, and it's always a bit of a game as to whether you can do it without walking back upstairs accidentally. I never can.
At least twice you end up, with that odd, or you end up in the doorway. I usually end up in one of those rooms somehow because I've mistimed my down.
Yep, a very input-intensive little section of walking here. And there we go, a quick trip back up the stairs just to get a little more cardio in for the day. That's my excuse, it's RNG manipulation.
Boiled Shrimp working through more of his dream sequence. Checking everything, including that lump of metal.
Yeah, I see a lot of people going for the lump of metal chest. I never do. It always seems a bit too slow for the reward for me.
Yeah, I just run around the car and just get, because then I want to get to this next part where you have to keep flicking switches for a while.
Yeah, same here.
And we have a Yeti.
Yay, T.
Karan now has Edgar, so he is heading up to get his Ragnarok Esper. And Nobody War heading to find the lock in the Veld. Give him some dried meat. He wants some jerky. Well, keeping pace, actually. They're still tight, those two. Nobody War now just needing Espers and Von Marlin, one of each. So now it comes to the time where they're like, they have a good amount, especially when you have 6 and 7 characters. There's a lot of checks out there. So now it comes to be, which ones do I want to do, and how long will it take me to do them?
So, here's the question. Which of our brave runners do you think is going to attempt tunnel armor first?
Because now...
We won't spoil the surprise.
But Von Marlin, so Von Marlin is heading to also pick up Locke. So the two of them will both have.
Indeed. So yeah, we won't spoil the surprise for you, but everybody in the Restream team is taking part in the Kefka Grand Prix. We've all finished our runs because it's being done asynchronously over the course of a week. So we know exactly what's coming in a lot of these places. And there are some pretty serious walls still out there.
Oh, Nobody War after the Veld. Let's see. Yep, forgot to put the old Moogle Giant back on. And here it comes.
But heading in for that Ragnarok check, which I believe is not going to work out too well for him.
No. Well, depends if you like items.
Yeah, I mean, they're both very good items, the Thunder Shield and the Aura Lance.
The problem
He's
is...
trying to choose.
In this seed, it's rough because obviously what people can equip is not lengthy. The list of people usually, but you do.
And I mean,
Boiled shrimp. Oh, boiled shrimp's at Naraka now. That should be quick.
Yep. Best case scenario when you're doing the Ragnarok check is having both Lock and Terror, because you get one item from Ragnarok and the other is hiding behind Welk.
Alright, so Von Mara. Oh, looks like they both are going. Yep. So it makes sense. They both got locked, so the first thing was to head right into that Ragnarok check.
Yep.
And Nobody War heading for the Phoenix Cave next.
As Karan heads into Figaro Basement to go find himself a Rexall.
Interesting. So Phoenix Cave, another one people really like to do. I don't mind early, but I just find it time consuming.
Yeah, if I've got Lock at the start, I'll do it fairly early because there's no boss to fight there, a lot of treasure chests, and a free check. But
Nobody War
later on...
Nobody War had second thoughts.
Not sure why.
He's unequipping. He just unequipped like everyone.
Sure, there's a method to the madness.
Obviously, very oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Going in one character per party, so clearly not planning to fight any dragons today.
No. So
maybe he's a little burnt out after the blue dragon earlier. I wouldn't blame him for that.
Von Marlin doing what I thought Nobody War would do, and heading up to Tritalk, but also makes sense because Von Marlin has Umaro, so he's most likely going to hit both.
And the Snowfield Dragon, who likes to charge people down. Storm Dragon is not a good one to see.
Yeah, this dragon sprints around that field. It's not fun.
Yeah, it's this one and the one in the Ancient Castle. Those are the two that tend to just try to ruin my day.
Phoenix Cave is a crawl. Just really not in a hurry. No. Storm Dragon, I remember in vanilla, is always my least favorite. Just not exciting. Really, can really deal damage to everybody.
I think the big problem with Storm Dragon is that you don't really see much in the way of wind damage from anything else in the game. Except maybe Doomgaze with Aero, so it can be quite unusual.
So Karant dealing with a Rexall and Boiled Shrimp. So Boiled Shrimp, quickly. Actually, everybody's starting to Karant catching up, but Boiled Shrimp quickly catching up.
Yeah, running up real fast on the outside there.
Yep, Nobody War, 7 Esper, 8 character. Boiled Shrimp, 9 Esper, 6 character. Von Marlin, 9 Esper, 7 character. And Karant, 7 Esper, 4 character. So it's a little bit of a wall for the two at the front while they get these. But Boiled Shrimp caught up nicely there.
I mean, the feedback we've seen from a lot of people who finished this is that they got really close to requirements and then just hit dead check after dead check.
Yeah, a lot of it.
I know Boo was recently saying that. It seems to be the running theme in this run. Oof.
And that was quick.
That was a very quick reset right there.
Wow. So Von Marlin heads up to the Tritalk spot and finds a goddess in 2 seconds? 2 seconds and just out.
Yep.
Out.
I understand that decision.
Especially, so obviously just saved, also very key. So obviously it's a great position to be in.
So Von Marlin going back to Tsen, I thought he already had the Tsen Esper. No, he doesn't. So that's him at requirements then.
He was the last one. So now they all have purchased it. So yeah, that's
Yep, Von Marlin can head over to the tower whenever he's ready. And at those levels, he should have no issues.
yeah. I was around the same. Those early 40s, and then everybody's gonna get at least one more fight in them. So yeah, that should be good.
Yep, nobody will, by the looks of it, getting ready to go into the Magitech factory as Board Shrimp goes for Owz's mansion.
Yeah, so Von Marlin gonna have a similar issue to a lot of us with issues with calmness protection.
Yeah, I know I had that issue.
Battle. So it's always worrying when you head into without finding a few of those nice espers, but you do what you gotta do.
So for those who don't know, when we're talking about calmness protection, we're referring to the Death Rattle move that Sleep, the main feature of Tier 3 of the final battle, uses, in which he will just instantly kill one or two of your characters, ignoring any death protection you have. And the only ways to stop it are to avoid a physical hit, using either Phantom, or Golem or Fenrir for the Vanish or Image or the Golem Shield statuses, or by utilising Life 3 so that you get instantly revived, or if you're feeling very brave, by jumping.
Yes, or if your evade is just super, or you're super high. Some
True.
of your characters, if you're really over leveled, you're probably just gonna block it or miss it. But you don't want to bank on that.
No, you never want to just assume that your Illumina is going to block Calmness, because that will be the one time it doesn't.
So a good move now, not knowing it, but Nobody War, the final one to enter into the Magitech factory, which does give 3 espers, so that will complete his requirement. Shouldn't be, especially at his status, should be fairly fine with the first Dullahan being probably the hardest of the bunch, unless you can't, deal damage to Ifrit and Shiva.
So Von Marlin beginning the long climb up Kefka's tower. Be interesting to see if the Brave One takes any bonus dragons. I don't think it's going to happen. But he's surprised me before, and he'll probably surprise me again.
I tried it with my third party because I had my strongest set, and I gave it a go, and I got killed quickly. Even at my level, it didn't stand much of a chance to the I believe a red dragon. It wiped.
Yeah, I mean, you do have a big bonus with the third party in that you have a save point you can access without switching teams.
So we have a Dullahan, we have a Guardian at Ozers, and we have Karant heading...
I've got a bad feeling he's heading up to go and find that goddess.
Lone Wolf, I believe. I believe he was in balance. He has
Okay.
Mog now. So
fair enough.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Definitely a much better outlook.
Today's public service announcement. It's hard to watch 4 screens at once.
Mm.
And here we have the boss at the Inferno spot for the third party in Kefka's Tower. It is Doom. Hopefully it won't spell doom for Von Marlin's run.
French vanilla.
I don't think he did go to Lone Wolf's house, no boo. I think that may have been a little bit of a mistake. One we've all made. I guarantee you every single runner of this game has forgotten Lone Wolf at one occasion or another. Von Marlin with a less than ideal Doom fight here. 2 of his characters just chilling out. Getting frozen by Doom. That little freeze status there is a longer version of Stop, but it can easily be taken off just by casting a quick fire spell on them.
Hopefully just a fire 1.
I think I've used Merton at one point, but I did have fire protection, so it was okay. It wasn't as bad as it sounds.
I don't believe anyone has offering fixed dice, to my knowledge.
The boiled shrimp does now have a second set of fixed dice. Or maybe third, I've not been counting.
I believe it is 2. There is a third set to be found, but it is deep, deep in the game.
Well, on the bottom of the screen, Doom is doomed, so he'll be pushing on to the 4 last bosses before the final fight.
Yes, you think Umara would be much better off with cold. But alas, he's not.
I mean, he would be much better off with cold in vanilla because he would have a snow muffler that can't be removed. But he would still be freezable, yes.
Great minds think alike there. So nobody wore into his second fight at Vargas, and Karan. He found the lone wolf this time. Ugh. Gotta get rid of that partisan.
Well, yes, I would definitely not be taking the thing you can find in shops very easily in this seed.
True.
He gets Golem instead. The only one, I believe, of our participants tonight who has Calmness protection now. So far.
So far, yeah. Big help, though.
Though, I tell you what, Boiled Shrimp isn't going to get it where he's going because he's heading up for a behemoth suit.
And will we have another blue dragon?
That would make 4.
That would. And one of the more shocking things I have seen, everyone deciding that switch is just too much to pass up.
It's just so tempting. Everybody needs to push the button, you know?
It's just sitting there. Why not? Well, we know why not.
Yeah, we know why not, but they don't.
But I will say, as the game has gone on, because Nobody War did it super early, and as the runners have progressed, it shows you that you should not fight them until later on in the game. Especially if it's scaled, that's a different story.
So, Nobody War heading into his minecart section. 2 more bosses left for him to get out of Magitech Factory. I think that will put him at requirements, if I remember correctly. I believe the last check here is in fact an SP.
It is. So that will help. And Von Marlin heading to his guardian spot to find some tentacles. A super annoying battle in Kefka's Tower, especially if you have 2 party members, but usually you've got 3.
Yeah, 2 party members and no running shoes or Marvel shoes. That's when it's bad.
Once they start picking, especially if you have not many characters and they pick you up and just sit there, you know, wait it out. So, Karan? I couldn't tell if he was heading to Burning House or Edith's Rock, but possibly Burning House now. Well, Shrimp finding his behemoth suit.
Interesting there. I just saw a glimpse of Current Sellers with a gem box and a gold hairpin. Going full magic strats there, it seems.
It's good to see. And Von Marlin heading to Shadownook.
Nobody War faced with a set of boxed sets, and I would definitely also be running away from those because that is an unpleasant fight.
Yep. Strago found that out the hard way.
Yep, those guys is jerks.
Nobody War probably not happy because he can't do anything, but then he finds Leader and goes, oh, this is cool.
I can handle this. There you go, Chadnock takes a Pearl or a Pearl Proc, I wasn't sure which, but for maximum damage. And goes down quite easily.
So Karat is doing some grinding? I believe, yeah. Looks like he's just doing some fighting. Not typically this late, but boiled shrimp. Oh, just reorganizing his party. Okay. And nobody war. Fighting. Did not have a Moogle traveler, possibly?
Well, we've seen it before.
It's this backdrop that throws me off because you don't see it often.
And here we go, the next boss in Kefka's Tower is Hydon and the Hydonites, everybody's favourite prog rock band.
Yes, Current did Burning House, so he's just...
Furious Gaming in chat there, reinforcing the point that you don't know what that background means, because yes, some like to grind in Nosh, but this was actually Vector.
Yeah, that yes, that is an odd one to see, considering he was in the factory. All right, so all right, Ebit's Rock, doing the old Coral. One Coral.
Boiled Shrimp remembering to grab Lone Wolf before heading up towards the check, which is always helpful.
5 Coral. Good for Coral. Uh-oh. No. Don't give him it. Unless I missed some in there.
No, he realised we're safe.
Good. Because for those who don't know, you have to give him 22 Coral, but if you give him anything less, he eats them and then wants 22.
Delicious coral.
Alright, nobody war. Dispatching with Ifrit Shiva. Getting that... Alright, well, I already had the last Esper, but had to fight the last fight, so... Nobody war now with their requirements. Heading in.
Looks like he's going to quickly save and heal up if he needs to, and then off he goes. He might be a little concerned about his levels. He is, I'd say, a little less than most people are optimally comfortable with.
Yeah, he's just shy of it. It's not terrible, but it would be probably feel better if he had that calmness protection with those levels, but...
Which it looks like Boiled Shrimp is going to have, assuming he can navigate the snowfield.
There's no dragon in it, that helps.
As most speedrunners of this era of games will know, movement is the true hardest boss.
Some 5, so Perot must be getting there on Coral. That was another 5 and a 3, so it's gotta be getting there.
Unlike the boss that Von Mullen is fighting, which is definitely not the true hardest boss. As Ultros just slips away in shame and defeat. And I believe that is Von Mullen's last fight, so he should be entering the final battle any second now. Just completing those final preparations.
And Karat finding another Ultros. But this time, he brought a friend.
He did, and sadly, no experience.
Yeah, it's not fun, but at least he gives him an Esper. So
Boiled
when
Shrimp.
you go in here and you get a dead check, it's like, ugh.
Boiled Shrimp now, just one character away from his requirement.
He's looking for a character.
As we get ready to see our first sight of Kefka's final form. So as we do have some fairly newer people to the randomizer, or mainly maybe the community in chat, I think we'll maybe go through Kefka's fight and explain how you would go about doing things. So, in phase 1, you have 3 parts. You have the head, the long arm, and the short arm. You want to take out the head first, in my opinion, as the head will cast Quake when it dies, if it's last, and you really don't want to Weedy Quake. That will hurt. The longer arm is vulnerable to instant death, but wants to be taken out first or second, just not last, much like the head. Because it uses, I believe it's Shockwave, which also does quite a lot of damage. But yeah, if you have an Air Anchor, if you have Cleave or Doom, X-Zone, Odin Ride, any of that, you will take out the long arm fairly easily. And then the short arm really doesn't do much. So that's always last on your list. And we'll pick this back up in Phase 2. Meanwhile, Kurant grabbing Shiva from Ebbett's Rock, so that's one more Esper, just one Esper and 2 characters left to go over there.
Boiled Shrimp heading into Esper Mountain to get Gao, which will be that last character.
It will indeed. Nearly go time for him as well.
And Nobody War making his ascent. Or descent? I don't know. You land on top of the tower, but it feels like you end up going up.
Up and down and all around, and you go everywhere in that tower. Including to Kefka's bathroom.
Hmm. We had a lot of Dragoons for Boiled Shrimp currently, including an Imp Cyan. Oh, we have level 2 upcoming.
Yes, indeed. So in Tier 2 you have 4 parts to deal with. You have the White Tiger head. You have the blue guy at the right-hand side. You have tools in the middle, and you have magic at the back. So, of these, magic casts a lot of nasty magic, as you would expect from the name. It is best to try and mute him using the mute spell or the Siren Esper. Tools is weak to bolt, and also instant death, and is very annoying, so you want to get rid of that as soon as possible. Looks like Vormal going for X-Zone strats, which can work, but it's not very accurate. Tiger Head. Yep, Tiger Head also very dangerous. Slap that with a lot of ice magic and it'll go down fairly quickly though. And the blue one at the front, whose name I don't actually know, you don't want to leave that to last if you've got weak defenses, because he will death counter with 10 hits, and that can hurt.
I believe that Pearl Proc from Celis on Tiger did 9,000 damage. Not bad.
Definitely not bad. So, Boiled Shrimp heading for the tower.
Oh, good. Everyone has a little bit different strats for this level, I feel. But generally, that Tiger is one of those, definitely the first. And magic, especially if you can mute it, definitely on the back end.
Yeah, if I can mute magic, I will let it live until last. If I can't, I will kill it first. That's my personal strategy anyway, just because magic can do some really nice things. It can life 3 the other parts, and you don't want to see that. And there's slows and stops and imps and all kinds of nasty things.
So Kurant fighting the Storm Dragon in the snowfield. If it does go, this could go well, and it would be beneficial in the long, big time. But his levels, not the best. Eek. As I say that, loses 2. So we've got Von Marlin still progressing through that second level. Nobody got to the first fight with Doom. Boiled Shrimp doing some management as he begins his trek. magic doing its dispel when it dies. It likes to just keep hitting you with dispel. Level 3 incoming.
Indeed. So, level 3, you have Girl or Lady, whatever you want to call her, the little floating head at the back, and Sleep. Girl needs to die first. Girl will life 2 Sleep. Girl will heal Sleep with Pearl Wind, and possibly other things I've never seen because I normally shut her down as fast as possible. However, Sleep will pour out the damage. He will use Whirlwind, he will use Merton, and if you really annoy him, he'll start countering everything you do with either Meteo or Train. Train, a very annoying spell which inflicts silence and darkness on everybody. And Meteo, a very powerful spell, but with slightly bad accuracy, so you can get lucky and survive. And then there is, of course, the final blow at the end of this tier of the battle, when you will face Calmness either once or twice, or I believe I have seen it 0 times.
I believe when I ran this seed, I got hit with an attempt at calmness in the beginning of the fight. It was very strange, and it didn't work.
So, there are actually 2 different effects from Calmness. One used earlier in the fight, and one uses a Death Rattle. Now, I don't actually remember what the first Calmness does, but it's definitely not instant death.
It missed, so I don't want to know. That was helpful. Current's still making a go of it on this Storm Dragon. And Boiled Shrimp about to meet Doom.
There we go. Boo telling us that apparently the first Calmness inflicts sleep.
Huh. Well then.
So, as I mentioned, Sleep is into its nastiest phase now, where it's starting to counter everything. And, yep, that's Train, so that's the Darkness and Silence, and it looks like Realm might be about to drop to Condemned.
The remedy before Condemned hits. Yeah, Train is definitely my least favorite thing to see in the final 2 sections because of that. Especially if you are relying heavily on magic, it's super annoying. And generally, it gets hit it's right before you cast a spell, or you attempt to. And Boiled Shrimp with only Strago and Gao to fight Doom. This should be interesting.
It could be a bit of a rough one, that, unfortunately.
Strago jumping, so that's helpful.
So, Von Marlin gets through phase 3 with just Cyan down. It's not too bad. 3 out of 4 characters surviving is pretty good.
That is the exact thing I had happen. I had Cyan.
And so finally, we have Tier 4, Final Kefka himself. This battle's fairly straightforward, considering the other 3 parts. You just have the one target. He will usually open with Fallen 1, unless you really, really hurt him very hard and very fast. Fallen 1 simply reduces everybody's HP to 1. So, have a Mega Elixir or a Cure 3 very handy at the end of that if you have them. Otherwise, good luck to you. Following that, you just start dealing damage. He'll occasionally counter some things with physical attacks, hyperdrive, etc. When he gets to, I think it's below 30,000 HP, he will prepare for Goner. However, if you mess up and hit him a little bit too hard and get him below 10,000 HP without hitting the Goner phase, he will use Ultima. And that will hurt.
That will hurt a lot, and I have done that.
Ooh, Boiled Shrimp there taking a death to Doom. That's a shame.
Yeah, I will say that generally that path, usually you'll have 3 characters, including 2 of your main party, because they fight more things. So that's shocking to have those 2 in there. Uh-oh, Kurant has tried to go to Tritalk and is now making a go of it against Goddess. So Von Marlin hit Fallen One and is now using Elixir on as many people as he can, while he continues to try and deal as much damage as possible, hoping not to catch one of Kefka's Havoc wings, which usually knocks you out, depending on how strong you are.
However, when you see that the end comes beyond chaos, that's a sign to go all out, because he will not counter anything while he's preparing for Gon. So you can absolutely slap him around. But when he's finished charging up, this happens. Yes, Kefka does indeed provide free advertising for the other big randomizer, that is Final Fantasy VI Beyond Chaos. I don't have any links handy, but if you want to look at that as well, go check it out. I'm sure Google will be your friend.
Nobody War progressing past the tentacles to Shadownook.
Not entirely sure why he's attacking the painting phase, because you can't do anything there.
Boiled Shrimp, another go at Doom, utilizing Gao's health. And Kurant?
And there we go! Von Marlin finishes!
Whew. Good.
A very good time of 1 hour, 51 minutes and 39 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Alright. Boiled Shrimp still continuing with Doom. Nobody War still going with Shadownook. And Kurant still going at Goddess. Hopefully these will work out.
Indeed. Should be a fairly rapid finish for both of these, assuming Boiled can get through his Doom fight.
Shadownook goes down.
And here with us we have Ike on Discord, who is Von Marlin on Twitch because he likes confusing people. How'd you find that, buddy? GG's.
Thanks. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay. Whew, that was a fun one.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Obviously, you're the first finisher of our 4 tonight, so well done on that. With a very respectable time.
Thank you. I think that's actually the fastest I've done one of the Kefka Grand Prix seeds, even though I fought 3 dragons, which I normally don't do.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of people going for the dragons tonight. Some you with more success than others.
It didn't even really work out for me aside from just the levels, but it actually did make the Kefka's Tower sequence a lot less stressful than my practice seeds.
Yeah, very much. So, what were your highlights and lowlights from this run?
Highlights, definitely finding that random Illumina. It kind of carried me through the majority of the game there. That was really funny to me. Just, you find that Illumina at level 3 and you're like, oh, okay. I did think it was funny that I tried to go and fight Goddess and just immediately reset out. That is something I'll just remember forever.
Yep, you're not the only one that did that as well.
Yeah, well, because I knew that Zen was an Esper, so the only reason I even went up there was like, hey, it's either an Esper or a dead check that gives me an item that I really want. But then I saw Goddess and was just not interested in that at all.
Yeah, I think that was a hard pass for a lot of people. Any regrets? Any things that you wish you'd done and you didn't, or anything you shouldn't have done?
The only regret I had is that Strago could use the fixed dice, but not the offering.
But you did have a character that could use both.
Yeah, did you check everybody that you kept getting in? Did you check what realm could use?
Oh no. No,
she could use both.
Oh, really? Well, I mean, she just spammed Pearl for the majority of my race, so it worked out.
Which is good. Good use.
She got the mag power +2 for a while, and I was just like, oh, okay, just use magic, Murder Child. Oh, I see. I opened this stream up. I see now. I don't actually rely on fixed dice offering that much, though, so I'm kind of glad I didn't find it, because I think my offense was fine.
No, you ended up with a great time, so I mean, it worked for you. So,
and I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying most people, like a good amount of them, especially like we're looking to see if somebody could do both of those items. So, but
yeah,
it worked for you.
Once I got going, I don't generally try too hard to find gear, especially like I said, the fixed dice. Though I did forget, maybe my biggest highlight was the big brain. I put Locke 5th intentionally there so that he could do exactly what he did, which was mantra everyone's train bullshit. So it worked out perfectly for me.
PG-13, please?
Oh, sorry. My bad. But yeah, that was a good seed. And it looks like there's a couple of people just behind me too, so I'm happy to see that.
Yep, so you've got a couple in the tower and one not shy of it. So it's been, this was, compared to a lot of the practice seeds, this was a lot more enjoyable for people, but it definitely was a lot more open.
Oh yeah, the routing was really strange, especially early on. I'm going to probably go back and watch and see what everyone else did, because that was a really interesting run. But I'm going to go get dinner now.
Go, enjoy.
To everyone that is watching, like Future said, I do a stream on Von Marlin. That's my Twitch name, and I stream 4 days a week, so come watch me.
Alright, thank you very much for coming in, and well done on a race well run.
Thank you.
Alright, so we have Karen coming out of Nash, we have a Nobody War, blasting through these bosses.
And Boiled Shrimp did get by Doom.
Indeed, progress underway.
So, the Goddess spot was a Genji helmet, by the way.
Ew.
That Goddess fight. Yeah, not for that battle and how long it took, that was not the desired. So if Von Marlin had decided to, go forward with that, that would have been a lot. Not that he said he wanted an item possibly, but definitely not what he was hoping for.
Indeed. Logger Spike, I think Goddess dropped Excalibur. Yes, she did, but she always does. So the items that enemies drop are not randomized in this, so if they would normally drop an Excalibur or anything else, like Magimaster would drop a Mega Elixir, that's still going to happen.
In battle drop, but then after the battle is done, you will have to pop up dialogue box with an item.
For dragons, yes, not for bosses.
Yes, for dragons. Well, no, for that check, after you beat the Tritalk one, it'll transform into that little star, and then will come up saying what it is.
Yeah, for item checks, that's how that works. Yeah.
Right. Otherwise, it would turn into an Esper and then tell you got one. Well, Kurant heading down into the ancient castle now, as he is scrambling to find those last few things.
So, Rodzors, do bosses change at all depending on what spot you find them in? No. The only thing that changes bosses is what scaling option you have set. So we have a few options. They can scale by time, so they'll gain levels every 2, 3, or 4 minutes, depending what you set. Or they can scale with your party highest level, or the average level of your party. Or, like we have today, they can scale with your progress. So for every character, esper, and required dragon that you fight, their levels will go up by a certain amount, depending on the multiplier. So tonight it is progress times 2, so for every character and esper they acquire, enemy bosses and random encounters will go up by 2 levels. But the final battle and the 8 elemental dragons are not scaled today.
And so, also you can add as an option, obviously there's many options to it, you can add levels if you would like. So you can do ×2, ×3, and just add in 1, 2, 3, as many as you really want levels. So they're always a little bit further ahead. It generally makes more of a difference in the beginning of the game. It might make them a little stronger, but eventually once you get into the meat of it, it's all just going to kind of wash in depending on how far you are. Alright, so Nobody War entering into his final battle, while Boiled Shrimp starts to go through. He's at the first battle, the Tentacles, and Kurant checking out the Queen's Diary in the ancient castle.
That can be nice to sit there and have a little read. Breaks up the monotony of the boss fight. And here's that dragon.
With it. I have never actually run into that dragon, but I've heard a lot of people saying it sneaks up on you.
Yeah, that dragon can really play mind games with you.
It's the Snowfield dragon. That thing sprints, and that like it can switch directions. It's kind of like when you're in that Zone Eater for Go-Go, and those guys just decide to randomly switch direction and knock you off. That's how I feel like that Snowfield dragon is like.
Indeed. So, Realm getting a hug from a tentacle for Boiled Shrimp.
That is Strago.
That is Strago. I saw red and thought, hang on a minute.
Same family.
Close enough. There's only, what, like 60 years between them?
Family resemblance. And
still not giving it away yet, Lugrous Spike, because there is another race of this on Friday where you could find out.
Nobody War. Who was that? I didn't see that. He used an Esper, and I don't know who it was. Because I never remember any of them.
I was answering chat.
Something that was a shield of sorts, it said. Looks like a bull. Oh well.
Well, I'm not seeing any evidence of shell or reflect.
Yeah, the names are... Every time I see the names, I'm like, oh, what's the name of that?
Oh, Strago's having a little lie down.
Nap. Little nap.
We do appear to be losing a few video frames on Nobody War's End.
Yes,
I'm really sorry about that.
That has been a theme. Alright. So, Kurant now, with the Esper requirement done. Looking for a couple characters now. Everybody is up. Bye-bye tentacles. Boiled Shrimp, moving on.
And now Stella's taking a nap for Nobody War. And Edgar. This is not looking good for him.
Yeah, this bottom level has, you know, packs a punch. Like, you can, especially if you're not in the back row for this fight, it can be rough. Oh, block whoever that was. So it can be a rough one. Like you can get punched a few times, and in this case, just knocked out. But hopefully those dice start. Ooh, that. Huh. What is? So nobody were employing cleave to get rid of that long arm, which is sword text number 8, most powerful. But yes, it will get rid of enemies with the instant death.
So, quick note on sword tech. As many of you may have noticed, sword tech bar goes up a lot faster in this than it does in the base game. That's one of the flags we have enabled. It means that sword tech is actually, viable instead of a complete waste of time.
Ooh, quick.
Oh, that is not good for Nobody War.
Ooh.
Big mistakes made there.
Wipe. Ouch.
What is that keeps appearing at the bottom of his screen? I'm curious now.
I don't think I've noticed it. So Karat at Phonetics Tower saw Umaro. Thought leaving, but
Go ahead.
what? Doing some grinding again before making the trek up. I was going to say, saw Umaro must have been a good thing because needed the character, but doing a couple levels. Alright, so Nobody War re-entering the final fight. Boiled Shrimp taking on Shadownook or sleeping. Those Strago Gal have not had a good time with that. And now Karat making the trek up the Fanatics Tower to get Umar. Uh-oh.
Well, he would be taking a trip up Fanatics Tower, but somebody forgot their Moogle Charm.
I couldn't tell if that was on purpose or not. I kept going back and forth excessively.
Maybe then.
I don't know. You get 1 or 2 passes, and it's an error. Once you get to like 4, I'm thinking you're looking to do it, but.
Okay, so grinding in the Fanatics Tower. What's your take on that decision, Keith?
It would never do it. I mean, if you have good magic and you need to grind, but usually if you're grinding, it's towards the beginning. So usually that's never a good place to do it. But obviously the enemies can be different everywhere. In this case, it looks like we're in Zozo with early game, so they're not terrible. But yeah, it is not generally a favorite because you can only use magic unless you have Berserk or Umaro, but he's the prize in this case.
Well, hopefully this attempt goes much better for Nobody War. I generally always try and avoid using anything that does split damage in this first phase, because you really need to focus on what you want to kill. So I'm not sure if Slice is the play.
This level more than anything, that head, just that quake, obviously, as we just saw, is not great. Even that long arm can do at least 2 shockwaves, which can deal a great amount of damage too. Obviously, in level 3, you want to be focused on certain ones, but obviously, if you kill Sleep, I forget the name. Sleep first, it just comes back. It's not gonna kill you. It just makes it longer. And making that trek up for real this time. And Boiled Shrimp's still fighting Shatternock.
So, Grimwolf pointing out that Karen was looking for encounters but not checking chests, and I can understand that thinking, to be honest. You could definitely need experience more than you need items and equipment, especially if you're very happy with your offense.
He might have been looking for enough to get possibly learn a spell, which is obviously a very viable thing considering where he is. So,
very true.
About to find Air Force, and another probably welcome sight at this point, especially at this level.
At least in element scaling, however. In random scaling, Air Force is a nightmare. From my experience.
Yeah, he has been a big proponent of using Meteor, which some people don't enjoy, but it's non-elemental and it'll attack everybody, so you can do a lot worse. And it ignores
magic defense.
Yeah, so it can do a lot worse.
However, it is very low power compared to many other spells.
Yeah. Drago for boiled shrimp got picked back up and promptly sent back down. Taking a nap.
Yeah, boiled shrimp not having the greatest of times against Chadnak here.
This pairing of Strago and Gao has not worked out well. Gao obviously is probably one of the more intriguing characters because he doesn't get fight, so he gets 2 random commands, and it can be really good or just not great at all.
Now, that is the biggest risk of coming into the Fanatics Tower and fighting Air Force, because the spec can come out.
Yeah.
And the spec absorbs magic, which is, bad.
Does it absorb meteor? Or, because that's there we go.
It can be very bad, though.
Yes. Yeah, overall, it's not ideal. Nobody war. Made it up to the next level. So this should be a little bit better. At this level, obviously, the unfocused attack of offering is not terrible in this one, but you still usually want to get that tiger out of there. His attacks are not great. So Karat getting rid of Air Force, making the trek down to pick up his 6th character. And Shatternock still causing problems.
Indeed, that is what Chadnak likes to do, to be honest.
Mind bringing Gao to the tower. It just depends on what he's got. I generally don't like bringing Umaro because obviously you have no control.
Well, the thing is, bringing Gao to the tower is never the right play, because Fanatic's Tower works by replacing your fight command with magic, and if you don't have a fight command, you aren't doing anything other than throwing items.
Yeah, it's true. At least in the tower, Umaro, if you do have him, obviously when he's the reward, it doesn't help, but he can at least throw himself at things.
Or if you have access to the Berserk spell, which everybody should have access to. It can speed up a lot of fights. So, as Boiled Shrimp still battles Chadnak, it looks like nobody has made it onto Phase 2 successfully.
And now a Yeti is being recruited. So, one more character left. Where? Remember where they Karant has. So let's see. So this is about a similar situation when Boiled Shrimp. Boiled Shrimp then went to Esper Mountain, which paid off, which Karant could also do to get Gao. Not the most useful in terms of fighting, as we've seen, but useful in far of getting a requirement. Yeah. Interesting, yes. Karant also is the only one who did not do the Doma Dream sequence, which at this point I would probably guess not an option, because he only needed one thing, and that is long and needs 3, so.
And it looks like he might be heading for Mara's cave.
Which
is a bad decision.
It won't.
Spoilers, it's a bad play.
Yeah. Well, for those who don't know, when you go into the world of balance through Narsh, possibly to Kefka at Narsh or Lone Wolf, which we did see many of, you will see someone in the cave above. And if there is no person there, that means there is not a character there. So we can at least tell you there is no character.
Indeed. Oh, we tell you that without foreknowledge as well.
Yes. Yes. We may know what is there, but from
we do know what is there
in this seed, we can definitely tell you it is not a character for that reason. More things that we've learned. Boiled Shrimp, Path, Chatternock, on to Haydn with his Cyan Realm party of Dragoons. Very much into the Dragoons. And who is hanging out in this cave? It's not Umaro, it's Flame Eater. Oh!
Yeah, I can understand ducking out of that, because he would have known at that point that it wasn't a character.
Yeah. True. Yeah, once he saw that it's not what he wanted, recognized. So, it's not the Flame Eater, it's the character.
So it is looking like Karant now with no choice but to go to Doma in World of Ruin, and it looks like nobody was wiped again. Which is... you hate to see it. I mean, as a neutral, you could love to see it, because it means that the race is getting closer and closer together. I think I missed something in chat. Logger Spike is what on purpose or an artifact?
The reset, I think, was that. Possibly?
I have no idea.
That was my guess. Was it was that reset? Was it because of that, or? But yeah, that was either an item or an Esper. Either way.
Yeah, Kefka is being particularly mean to Nobody War right now.
Yeah, very much so.
Boiled Shrimp, meanwhile, is one tentacle friend away.
The Umaro not showing up. Oh, that Umaro walked it down like it normally would in the game, and then it turns into Flame Eater.
Or are you meaning in the hole in the cliffs?
This can go a lot of ways.
Indeed.
Yeah,
you just love live chat.
If it was a character, that character would walk down, because you also would have seen them in the opening. But if it's an item or an Esper, you will get it actually when you touch it, and then the Umaro will walk down like it would in the vanilla game, and then a random boss like Flame Eater will come out. Oh, Karant headed into the dream. Right, because he didn't have realms. Yeah. He was, locked into this. But, not the worst.
I believe that is deliberate, yes, Logris. So it looks like it is going to be very close now between Boiled Shrimp and Nobody War. It just depends who can get through their final battle the easiest. Nobody War had a much easier time with the bosses leading up to the final battle. Boiled Shrimp got bullied a little bit by a couple of them, but that may have been more due to party choice than actual struggling, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it can... I mean, honestly, you don't know, obviously, which bosses are going to wind up where, but he sent his strongest party into the Ultros fight. Obviously not knowing it, but I guess that's the randomizer for you. Alright, so that's done. So he's going to set himself up while Nobody War does a little bit of management to see what will help for this battle. Because his levels are a little all over the place. But yeah, generally in those high 30s, which is right about where you want to be comfortable. I will be interested to see. So, yep, Boiled Shrimp doing the same. Going Gem Box and Earrings for Celis. I thought it could be me as I looked at that, but I don't think Boiled Shrimp bumped anyone into the back row, which can be a big problem, as we saw with Nobody War. In that first level, you can get punched out pretty quick. It's one of those things that I've learned from watching some of our other runners, is that a lot of times when I start, I will just bump everybody right into that back row just to help. Alright, so now look, they're both, it's neck and neck now for this starting fight, actually. So this is intriguing.
Indeed.
There's been 2 races I have done in the community race where I've entered this apparently at the same time, obviously unbeknownst to me, but entered at the same time as somebody, which is exciting, especially for commentary purposes. You've got 2 people doing the same exact thing.
Nobody War just taking a moment to stop and think.
I always take at least a couple extra seconds to make sure I pick the correct names. Especially when you may lose someone to calmness. It is a lot more beneficial to pick those 5th and 6th spots, just in case, to make sure that there's someone that you do want. A lot of thinking on that, though.
Well, we have switched the audio over so that we can hear the wonderful Dancing Mad again, as I hastily do some audio balancing.
Yeah, so Boiled Shrimp, Edgar already get knocked down. Most likely because of this bottom level having some decent damage. Also, woo!
That's an oof.
But before Mog goes down, he did 4 9s of damage on that jump.
Oh no, I don't think Karen knows the chest sequence for Cyan's Dream.
So I've been watching this sequence, and yeah, there's definitely some newness of this whole thing. Because when you do, hey, there you go. When you do when you know it, it goes like clockwork because it's just like muscle memory. But yeah, the first time you have to try and remember all these switches, and it's one of the more clunky parts of this whole dream sequence. Is very much like can be clunky, and then after you get it down, from the Stooges to this to navigating that mountain, like it's I mean it's bizarre, but.
And not knowing that you don't actually have to hit the switches in that car.
Yeah. Yes, there's a lot of these things that you find out. Interestingly enough.
There we go, Karen through the worst of Cyan's dream now. No more confusing stuffs to deal with. And this will put him at his requirements, so away he can go. And depending how badly Kefka wants to bully, this could be a photo finish still. Anything can happen in the final battle.
That's for sure. And it's interesting that, because some of these levels, especially like level 3, depending on what it starts with, which spell it starts to go with, can just be, sometimes it can be awesome because you can just block it, and sometimes it can just bring you down a few notches. Karant fighting his Narapa, which at this level should be no problem at all.
Yeah, he should just fall over. Narapa never has much HP. The only thing you have to worry about is that auto-reflect, which he's about to have to worry about, because that's going to hurt. And there's the reset. It's easy to forget, I do it all the time, but yeah, Narapa is one of those bosses who will just reflect everything.
Alright, so Nobody War heading back up to the second level.
So yeah, we have a bit of chat about the Magitech armor in the Cyan's Dream sequence, and Hudat is quite right, you can run into some graphical bugs if you have characters the game doesn't expect to be a Magitech armor. You can also run into a big glitch if you have 4 people in your party during the Magitech armor phase, because you're actually only supposed to have 3 to my knowledge. I think the Magitech armor is, strictly speaking, programmed into the 4th party slot. I'm sure I've read that somewhere, I'm probably very, very wrong, but I think that's a thing. So that can cause some glitches in itself as well.
So this time, just bashing Narapa or just using spells like Meteor, much better off.
Indeed, you can't reflect a multi-target spell that is forced to be multi-target.
He definitely got some low counters for Condemned too. He's very quickly running out of time for a couple characters.
But he's fine, he's through it.
Yeah, he's good. Alright.
That is a pretty dancing Edgar right there. Very confused for boiled shrimp, and a frozen dancing Strago for Nobody War.
Edgar on boiled shrimps cast, I believe, safe on Tiger for it.
He's helping.
Alright, so Kurant has the requirements now. So that should be a quick trip over. Maybe some health saving, but should see another tower entrance soon. Oh. Thanks, Edgar, for the scan of his self. Or Strago, I don't know. Oh, now we have a dancing frozen Edgar on that side.
This is one of the interesting things I've seen on a restream. This is a thing.
That's very odd.
It looks like somebody slapped some sense into Boiled Shrimp's Edgar.
But still frozen.
He's just chilling.
That Strago is casting, actually being super helpful. Nope. The first time he cast it on the enemy, and then he cast it on Edgar. Oh no.
This is not looking good for
Now
Pretty
Realm's
War.
dancing. And she tried to steal from someone.
So, Kurant going into the tower. Still really all to play for right now. In terms of tonight's race, anyway.
Ooh. That was a nasty one. Strago goes down for boiled shrimp after an S cross. I'm glad that missed. I thought he was going to get it again.
It's a very, very tense situation right now for Nobody War. Boiled Shrimp, meanwhile, making a fairly decent recovery from his issues.
Oof.
Unfortunately, I'm not sure why the top left stream has entered slideshow mode. It's definitely not anything on my end, I'm afraid. I've looked into everything I can. But we're going to stick with it as long as we can. Good lord, and Keith's under attack.
Yes. Something being moved.
Are you trying to fight Kefka in real life, Keith? Alright, 10 hits.
Well,
The blue guys counter-attack for Boiled Shrimp.
not the best with one. So now Mog is going to be hopefully brought back up before anything crazy happens, but still on track.
Where has Kurant found an Atma weapon? Did he take the fight in Kefka's toilet?
Atma weapon is at the Atma spot.
Interesting.
Yes.
I hope he knows that that isn't mandatory, because I didn't the first time I did a restream race. I was straight in there and onto that boss fight. And it was something really nasty.
So the Atma weapon, however, ooh, there's that quake. But he, unlike Atma, can be used Pearl against them. So.
Yeah, and thankfully Atma weapon, very little magic power to back up that quake and also his flare spells.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Nobody War goes down again.
Well, I'll be intrigued to see if Kurant can use if he makes it through here if he can use what he gets. Strago getting woken up by... What is that? Is that a... I don't even know what it is. What is that animal?
I don't know.
I don't know, but it just decides to show up and wake you up.
Indeed, the magical heal boy. Logra Spike, who apparently hates everybody, with the suggestion that there should be a flag that makes Atma only beatable with Rasp strats. You laugh, we've had to do that to Magimaster before.
Bro, the ultimate counter. When that flag, someone decides to use that flag. Atma weapon. Wow, that was close. Not much health left, but he made it. So I'll be curious to see if he can use his cat hood. Good item. It's just been a very odd set of equips this seed.
Yeah, very fair play to Nobody War here for sticking with it and trying again. Hopefully he can find whatever it is he needs to get through it. As Boiled Shrimp is on to tier 3. Now, Boiled Shrimp does have Golem, which is very handy if somebody could equip it, which I may have failed to notice.
I definitely was not looking for that. But I believe it can, if I recall correctly from another runner who said they used it. But I don't know if it's the characters he has. Ah, Merton. Ouch.
Yep, the Merton opener can hurt quite a lot.
Hmm.
Usually not a run ender though, unless you're very low on health at the start.
In which case, it's usually surprising you made it this far. Question from chat. Yes, you can make it to the floating continent, but you need shadow.
If you're in character gating mode,
Yes.
if you have character gating turned on, you need shadow. If not, all you do is you go onto your airship in the world of balance, you walk up to the steering wheel, and it's an option.
So another go for Nobody War. And Tarant still making his way through to Doom. And Boiled Shrimp. That healing still does just enough. So here's another one where, oh, well, his Quadra Slice did most of the damage where he wanted it, but...
Here comes the Golem.
We'll see if this is too early or not. Usually you wait a little bit longer, but you never know.
I mean, Golem you can't really do too early, because the only thing that can remove it is physical attack. And, you know, if everybody dies, but that's probably not going to happen.
Just have had it run out. But we have multi-summon, so you could keep using it. Could have used it on every level. Probably would have been helpful.
Obviously,
Yep.
Golem would soak up 10 hits.
Yep.
It would soak up some of those physicals that we talked about in Tier 1.
And we have a Doom. This is where I actually used my Pearl Rods. I waited, and then I used them on Doom, so it made for quick work of Doom. train at them out.
Yep, the first train counter, so this is bad time. And everybody starts jumping away. And there's our first Meteo. Edgar goes down, and Calmness comes out.
Oof. Right in the block.
It's fine. Three-handed into the final phase.
Double block.
Yeah.
Alright, so Edgar gone. Sword Tech is a good one to have, but at least it did its usefulness with Cleave out on the other levels. But I'm not sure who he has on deck.
Well, given how all of the earlier fights went, hopefully not Gao. And no, it is Realm.
Oh. That's definitely a solid fill-in.
Yeah, I deliberately put Realm 5th in my run because I knew she had the the fixed dice and offering combination for me. And I knew I didn't have Calmness protection. I knew I was going to lose characters, so having her come in for this final phase, very helpful for me. But I also had Terra, and Terra had some very useful abilities that I'm going to save until Friday.
Yeah, I thought somebody would have ended up there, but apparently not.
Guess not, yeah.
Then again, I didn't think I would see as much early burning house as I did.
Everybody's got a fiery passion for it these days, it seems.
I think I just watch too much of Zelda and avoids it like the plague.
Yeah, Strago's checks are definitely Marmite's check. You either love them or you hate them. I don't know what the American equivalent to Marmite even is.
I don't know.
But surely there's something over there, without getting into topics we shouldn't discuss on this stream, that you either love or hate.
Well, yeah. I'm trying to think of one on top of my head. But yeah, there are a few things that people are all in. I feel like the one everybody always brings up is the pineapple on pizza.
Pineapple on pizza is amazing.
I love it. I just like pineapple on everything. But yeah, some people are just adamant that it doesn't exist. There was a naysay in the background behind me on that.
It's yucky.
So you're wrong and your opinion's wrong. Anyway.
See, now look what we've started.
Oh, out comes a Havoc Wing onto the only strong character and an Ultima counter. Oh no! Boiled Shrimp, no!
Oh,
Cyan was in the air. Is that enough damage? No, but we're back into Ghana. He's got a chance.
Time it.
And I think nobody was gone again, unfortunately.
Oh no. Does he have enough time? I don't know if he does by picking him back up. So I didn't see how much Goner was doing to him, so.
Yeah, I would have jumped again to avoid that. Cyan survives!
Wow!
But that's going to be another Ultima counter if that isn't a kill. Oh, and the Pearl Proc at the right time.
Ooh.
That is the clutchest of clutch finishes there for Boiled Shrimp.
Wow. That is... Wow.
That was a fantastic finish.
Yeah. Wow. That.
Alright, let's get Boiled Shrimp in here to talk about that. So, Boiled Shrimp, that finish though, how have you unclenched yet?
No, I'm making diamonds right now.
Finish though, how Have you unclenched yet?
Yeah, that was something. That was.
I fixed it, chat. I'm sorry, I didn't expect that.
I ended up.
So, how did you find the run tonight? Any highlights and lowlights from it?
Oh dear lord, that those item placements. I'm just glad I found who I did. Albeit wasn't too happy about their Esper equipping.
Yeah, that particular flag can take a little bit of getting used to. So, do you have any big regrets from tonight?
Probably shouldn't have wasted so much time on the shops, but other than that, not a whole lot. I made sure to do a lot of safety saves, as I'm pretty sure you've noticed.
Nothing wrong with a bit of safety there, mate. So, this is your first restreamed run for this community, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And I know you're fairly new around here, so how are you finding it in the World Collide community?
I'm liking it so far. They're as friendly as the Super Metro or the SM rando community.
And
Oh, go ahead.
how about the Kefka Grand Prix? What are your thoughts on that?
The Kefka Grand Prix as a whole?
Yeah.
Oh, it's pretty interesting so far. I look forward to more of it.
Good to hear. Keith, anything from you?
No, I mean that ending really, like, I was gonna think back to everything, but that ending, I mean, that had chat, on the edge of their seats watching that one. I don't remember too much other things to bring up. I mean, it was a nice scene. There was openness to it that I think people appreciated. You got to go a few different places. Everybody kind of got to pick their own path, which is nice. But yeah, there was. I do have to say, your Kefka's tower trek was arduous, to say the least.
Yeah.
Even before that final battle, Doom and some of the other Shatternook, there was some rough ones there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. Had to make use of who I had though. And what I was equipped with.
Yeah, and then obviously you never know who's going to be where, and your strongest party had Ultros. So
yeah. So that was a bonus at least.
Yeah, it's a nice when you get through all these hard ones and then you get that. So
Yeah, it was a very good run to watch and very well done on your time, especially for one of the newer runners in the community. You should be very proud of that.
Oh yes. Not too far off from my PB, I believe.
Hi.
Very nice.
Anyway, thank you very much
Okay.
for coming in tonight, and I'm sure we'll see you in future weeks, maybe.
Oh yes, definitely. Hopefully.
Alright, GG's again, and have a good evening.
GG's to everybody that participated. And make sure you give these commentators a follow. I'm pretty sure they worked really hard for it. Actually, I'm fairly certain
you
they
don't
did.
know us.
I don't know. I couldn't see from my end.
Oh, this is entertaining. Just sitting back and watching some of these things. It's enjoyable.
It's more fun than you
It's a lot
think.
less stressful.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Well,
Get
thank
back
you for
to
having
our-
me.
No problem.
Alright, so Carrot now on Chadnook, and possibly someone who doesn't know that you can't hit the girl's form again.
She's just a nice painting. Yeah. All right. So always one of our exciting. It's weird. We spend the whole time looking at 4 screens. Now we're down to 1. Feels like I don't have anything to look at.
And with us now, we have Nobody War. First thing I want to say is you did very well to keep trying so much. So good effort on the perseverance there. And he's muted, so may have to wait a moment for a response there. So I wait for Nobody War to get his affairs in order, who unfortunately did decide to throw in the towel, and to be honest, I can't blame him after getting beaten by Kefka for nearly half an hour. It's not pleasant.
We still now fighting the actual demon in the painting.
Indeed. As Keith sat there giggling at my contributions in Discord.
Technical difficulties.
It always happens.
And we have the end of Shatternook, so that a good chunk of it there. So now one on the harder side ish, and then Ultra.
Indeed. Nearly there.
So far, this seemed to have been the hardest part. This Shatternook gave a couple problems to some of our other runners.
So a little background for you on this one. Charon is very new, and he was worried about how long this would take him tonight because his last practice run apparently took 4.5 hours. So I don't think he's going to pull that tonight. I think we should be looking quite a bit faster.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, exactly what Huda said in chat. Awesome that you put myself out there so early in the Worlds Collide career. And it is great because we're seeing, as we said earlier, we're seeing runners new and old. The range of times we're going to get in this is fantastic. Alright, take 2. Nobody War. Nope, okay, he left us.
There we go. Kron had to remember to go unlock the doors for his other 2 teams. Now back on track.
We're getting there, slowly but surely. Again, a fantastic effort from such a new runner. It really is great to see.
Yeah, we had a couple people join up late from some viewings that they saw online, so very nice to see.
Alright, 3rd time's the charm. Hello, Nobody War.
Hey guys, how's it going?
So, as I was saying while you couldn't hear us, very well done on the perseverance tonight and trying to hang in there for that final battle.
Oh yeah, of course. Like, I knew. Oh gosh, probably when I was getting ready for Inferno, that I was so like, because I kind of just rushed in. But it got to the end, tier 2, didn't have enough AoE, but didn't have enough heal. It was all good though, good seed.
So what were your high and low points for tonight then? I mean, I could probably guess one of your low points, but what else do we have? He left us again. Oh dear.
He's...
In or out, pick one, you're letting in bugs. So, as I was saying, what other highlights and lowlights do you have for tonight's run?
don't know. I guess lowlights was, for me, just free shops. I took that for granted. Didn't stock up enough. Could have been prepared. But, the beginning was real exciting. At least, always, first 15 minutes, inventorying, so to speak, checking all the free stuff. Fixed dice, offerings. Illumina's right in our early game was just all right, I'm holding A until this is over. I thought, but not really.
So we noticed you went for the blue dragon at Mount Zozo really early. What were your thoughts on that?
I just, normally when I play, Zozo's more or less a free check. That dragon being there is kind of just a bonus. I figured I'd try it before I go check. And same kind of bad RNG I think I've had on night when it comes to that fight. Clean sweeps and auger rakes not being just not having enough I don't know if it was evade or defense or what, because I had white cape, Zephyr cape speeds on everybody with hero wings and running shoes. It's just bad luck.
Yep, it happens sometimes. We've all experienced fate hating us. But you're going to be back at it next week, I hope? Raring to go?
Definitely.
Good to hear. It's important, especially for the newer runners we've got running tonight. Not meaning you, but we do have some rather new blood in here.
Yeah.
It's important to get back on the horse if things go wrong.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. One thing I've kind of learned for myself is roll some seeds that are going to challenge you just from the way you've set them up. You know what I mean? Go in and punish yourself, so to speak, to learn how to get out of certain situations. And it's fun. I've been running a lot of rushed categories, just 4 characters, no espers, just going right into the tower as quick as I possibly can kind of games. So
yeah, fair enough. Well, thanks very much for coming in, and commiserations on getting walled by the final battle, but as we said, it happens sometimes, unfortunately. And I hope the rest of the weeks of the tournament improve for you. Any last comments?
no, I'm good.
Alright, thank you very much.
Yeah, you guys have a good night.
You too. Alright, so we just have Kurant now in the Ultros fight. Should be nice and easy, really.
Yep, just getting in, doing a little management of inventory possibly before that final
Hello.
battle.
Flare on Ultros? It's a good way to burn off some extra time. Maybe he's trying to get to his 4.5 hour estimate. We'll see. Oh, realm muddled. No. Muddled realm with magic power is bad. But it's fine. She tried to steal. From herself, I believe.
I think that's the same thing that happened in one of the other... one of those other fights that we were watching at the same time. Yeah, the confused realm tried to steal.
Maybe Kurant doesn't know that Ultros is actually weak to fire and bolt, so fire 2 would be a much better option here.
Oh, there he is. Oh, no, I don't think so.
As indeed would Pearl. Ah, but that's the green cherry. See, Kurant's final items, he's got lots of everything.
Yeah, I bought a lot of everything just because.
Yeah.
Things I didn't even need.
In this flexer, I would try and max out on potions, Phoenix Downs, sleeping bag. I'd aim for sort of 50 or so remedies and revivifies, and anything else it would just be, 10 or 11. So Remedy will
Yeah.
take care of most things.
Yeah. There. Oh, he keeps tricking me.
I just want to shout at him, please stop casting Flare, it takes so long.
Yeah, this is definitely not the slowest method. But
Yeah, this is not optimal though.
no, not optimal.
I mean, he has tools. Many tools with Scion would outdamage Flare right now.
And eye drop. Ooh.
Apparently the octopus is angry.
He's just starting to throw things. They didn't do any damage, but he did it.
Oh, here we go, we have a different spell, it's Pearl time! And that does less damage than Flare.
Oh, not again.
There we go. Ultras has
Alright,
left the building.
alright.
A little concerned for Current's offense here. It's not the greatest.
So let's see. Oh, he's got to go. Oh, there. I wonder how far he was behind. Alright, time to see who he brings in, because I can't remember who he's been using for every single one.
Hopefully he can.
Yes. Many times I sit there looking at the names, trying to remember who I've been using.
The worst, however, is when they start renaming characters.
Yeah.
Because then it's just a lottery.
That's a I don't remember who I've been using at all because the names are so weird. Yeah, that can be. Yeah, that's definitely my least favorite and has been made very known to people that if they're gonna share a scene, at least make it so they can change them.
Well, looks like he's going for it. Bringing in Umaru ahead of Realm. That's a call. Oh no, opening with Meteor. No, don't hit everyone, please. Typing intensified. So, just so viewers are aware, we are slightly past our stream window right now, but there was nothing on the schedule behind us last time I looked. I should go and check.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, we're
Definitely.
in the clear.
He definitely has the HP. Not sure what his. Oof. Had some HP on Edgar.
Really wouldn't be using those hit all attacks though. That's a bad. I think we may need to advise Karen to watch this VOD back after this and take on board
Yeah.
some of our advice.
Yeah, and then seeing the others. Oh yeah, our advice on the others in each one as they all face it. So it's a big help. Once
And
you've
that
seen
is-
people go through it.
That is one of the good things about these restream races. It gives you a chance to go back and look through what you did with someone else's opinion on it.
So I don't. Yeah, overall, like especially when you first fight it, the meteor that he's doing sounds. The meteor and this quadra slice because you're getting lots of damage, but the problem of that of which is the last to die, and hopefully it's not the head.
I will say though, he is a man after my own heart right now because he's being very careful, bringing up the buff.
Another one with X magic on Celis, which is obviously great because she has such good magic ability to begin with. So.
Indeed, and if she can equip them, why not?
In a seed where equipping has been a problem, she's actually had pretty good success with some of those items. Dread. Just another wave stone. It's also hard to always notice which ones have gone down.
No, that is something the meteor will help with.
Yes, the more that was the only. Oh, Strigo. Yeah, I tried to dread him again.
Oh no. The other downside of Dread, of course, is it takes off your buff. So all of that time spent casting haste and safe, it's a shame.
But everything is still around. And Edgar targeting the hands or arms.
Oh no, short arm died first. That means there's no way that this doesn't end in a nasty counter attack.
Well, at least if it's Quake always hits all of them. The shockwaves, at least it's only gonna hit 2 at most, I think, maybe. I forget how many. Because I feel like it can change, but it's not gonna. The Quake is the worst one. That'll do it, Edgar.
Here we go.
He still has good HP, I hope.
Oof. And down goes Cyan, unfortunately.
That was close for Celis. Well, I'd say if he was going to lose somebody, that was probably the best one for him.
Yeah, Cyan didn't seem to be doing much of massive value.
And I don't remember when it might have been somebody else that was. Oh, Mog was on somebody else's team that was dealing a lot of damage.
So, another note for future currents here, if you just check this back. Use Cleave. Cleave kills tools, use Cleave, please.
Use that, and if you use it on the bottom one, bye long arm.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't get. I think in my seed, Edgar was the very last thing I got. Very last thing I got, and as soon as I saw he had the sword tech and it was maxed out, I threw it in mainly just for that cleave because I was like, fine, knocking out 2 things instantly is worth it for me.
Yeah, sword tech when you done Cyan stream is a pretty big yup.
Yeah. So that's why in this one it was like I was gonna do it anyways, and then it's like, oh, it's a. And then when I saw it pop up, usually you end up doing it and nobody has it, or it's deep buried.
Still going full steam ahead with the damage all abilities though, so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
He does have Cure 3, so that's helpful. It is going to make for us. It's mostly that tiger, though. The longer he stays around, the worse things tend to get.
Indeed.
Oh, wow, I don't know about the curing. He did make some extra battles to get those magic spells, so they are paying off for him.
Yeah, very much. And if he keeps playing it safely like this, keeps up that healing, like religiously keeps up that healing, this strategy could work. As long as he remembers to use Golem in phase 3.
I will say, at the very least, he will learn a lot from this. Yeah, this VOD, and then just from most likely some friendly tips from anyone watching in the channels in the Discord. So that was my first one. I don't know what I had a long Magi Master fight because I did not know there were faster ways to get by it. So I learned quickly after when people reminded me or informed me.
So while I do wish Carrot the best of luck with his final battle, if he does unfortunately fall to this, have to try again, we will probably be cutting the stream. I'll take the blame because the restreamer is starting to struggle to keep his eyes open. It is nearly 2:15 in the morning here. But fear not, you won't be left without the rest of the run if it happens, because we'll just go host him.
Yep, always nice when we're doing these since we're restreaming, so the channels themselves are still open.
Yes.
Who goes down first, I wonder? It's intriguing. Yeah, I don't know enough. There's a few people who know enough to know about how much damage can be dealt to each section, but I haven't gotten that far. Ooh. That wasn't bad. Oh, down goes Mog. Down goes... Making... Oh, he was gonna try and use that on Mog.
So, one quick Google later. In terms of HP, it would be Tools first, then Power. Which is the blue dude.
Yeah, it's the blue guy.
Then Tiger, and then Magic.
Ah.
If they were all hit for the same damage every time, it would be that order.
I think I saw that. I was looking that up as well. At one point when we were thinking of his power. I was like, I don't remember ever hearing that. Of course, they also call tools. Apparently, they can also call it machine, since everything has multiple names.
He is machine in later translations. Or
Just
I suppose.
both mechanical. Oh, here comes 10 hits. Ooh.
Those are some chunky hits. This could be bad.
Yeah. Oh, that was in his... Okay, those are...
Ooh. And this is when you really don't want to have abilities locked in.
Yeah. Everything's entered in already. Well, the worst of the counters is out.
Oh no!
Spoke too soon. Oof. Who's he curing?
He can come back from this.
Good. As long as that cure spell is
He may not be able to come back from this. Oof, oof, oof. It is, as the football pundits over here would say, it is squeaky bum time.
I've learned so many things. So many things.
It's always an education with me. Yes, indeed. 4th and inches. Was that an auto shell and auto protect proc?
Is that a pod bracelet?
No, that's permanent auto shell and protect. This is something that procs at low HP.
Oh.
Which you don't tend to see people equipping very often. He has mute as well and hasn't muted magic. Oh no.
Yeah, I definitely didn't know that one took me a while to find out, or I saw someone do it.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. You wouldn't assume that you can sick
Yeah.
many statuses on the final bosses.
I think there are a lot of bosses that you don't realize you can do a lot of things to.
Quarter
A lot
there
of-
hitting 3 out of 4. And Edgar there clearly not happy.
These quarters are real annoying, and they keep coming, just knocking out all your HP.
Alright, everyone intact and at high HP going into tier 3.
Alright. So this is, if he's in the same, hopefully he doesn't get in the same mode, because if you get this one to where it's low HP, those meteors just keep coming.
Yeah.
It can be rough. Because it feels like they come more often than they should.
Oh no, not Quadrislice again.
Let's see who. Good. Good.
Eh,
Yeah. Alright, 50-50.
he's trying at least. Good old Edgar. He knows what needs to be done, half of the time.
There it is. I was wondering if that condemned counter was popping up or not. And it is. Keep it going.
Oh, that's a bad.
Yeah.
That's a bad. Unfortunately, girl there absorbing every single element. That's not the way to go, and that undoes pretty much everything he's done to her so far.
Yeah. Well.
And that
And-
definitely seals it.
Yeah. Ooh, wow. For full heal.
I believe Pearlwind works by healing everybody in the team by your current HP, which means she was back at full health before that.
Oh, bye, Talos. Well, at least that time Edgar put 3 hits into Girl. So.
Yep, we're improving. All 4 this time? Nope,
5.
just 2. But girl is down. And now the real battle begins, the race against Train and Meteor.
Yeah, they're definitely having multiple party members with Cure 3 will be helpful. Merton. Not terrible. Not terrible, and it hurts. Sleep. Strago, just kick a few hits in there.
This is the time when you definitely don't want to be relying on Meteor, though.
Yeah.
It doesn't do enough, and it doesn't do it fast enough.
I don't know if Golem is anywhere to be found or not, but I haven't seen it used, but I don't know if it's even out there. Then it just becomes, if it's 1 or 2 calmness hits.
Yep. Here we go with the Meteor. Again, it's not very accurate. You've got a good chance of dodging.
Well, he's got pretty good. I mean, if he gets hit again with it, it's.
Alright, Train's going to put an end to the magic offense for a little while.
Yeah. So Edgar will still do. Oh. Mog, I believe. No,
Hanging in there.
But all those spells that he had on deck, most likely gone.
And Calmness, he's made it through. Sellers down, but the rest of the party's still standing. And still has backup characters to come.
Probably not ideal, but take it getting in there. Yes, X magic takes away your summoning ability, which is rough. Alright. Oh, and it's a Yeti. Love it. That's great. Maybe we'll get one of those.
When he finishes this, folks, I want to see a massive pile of GGs in the chat. Carrot here, our first race as far as I know, and a fantastic performance.
Alright, there's the fallen one. Yep, so Edgar's just gonna keep doing that.
And the Yeti's going to keep doing what he do.
That's not bad. Almost 4,000 right there, so that's pretty good. And Strago's taking another nap.
And out comes the Cure 3 for a bit of safety.
Yeah, this is probably going to be a good chunk of it. Edgar and Umaro and Mog kind of healing.
Yeah, Mog playing medic.
Mog with Morph. I didn't even notice that before. Yeah, I don't know. So much for the healing. But the other two are fine.
I believe.
Even just swinging it, Umaro's doing okay.
Until blindness hits.
He does not. Umaro still succumbs to the darkness, blindness.
I believe he always hits if he does his bear hug, but not
yes,
swinging his weapon.
If he throws himself, it's a pretty good chance he's just throwing his body up.
Hyperdrive can't really know what you want to see right now.
Ooh. Yeah, he needs that guy back. Yep, so...
That said, I'm not unfamiliar with the Amaro solo finishes.
True. That was Ooh,
That was clutch.
that Phoenix down is not gonna do it with Goner.
No, but I believe the way Goner works, the more party members you have alive, the less damage you're going to take. Not certain, but I think that's how it works.
It works for the other two at least, but not straight up.
Mm.
All right.
Let's see if Amaro can finish this, shall we? There's Revenger, that'll remove Mog's Safe and Shell.
Kill
Oh
that.
no! Not the Yeti!
Oh, does he not? Yeah, he doesn't have life. He had life too, I think, but it was Celis. So bring him.
And Train comes out again.
Well, Edgar can still pop him. Oh.
Oh no, not Havoc! Max damage Havoc Wing!
Ooh.
Oh, that's not okay!
Ugh.
And the Hyperdrive, yeah.
I was hoping we were gonna get another finish like boiled shrimp with. Quite enough.
Well, he's going back in. Right then, folks. As I alluded to a few minutes ago, unfortunately, we're going to be cutting the stream there because we've blasted way past our slot on the schedule and it's getting very late for me. So, stick around because we are going to go and host Carons. Now, bear in mind this is under race conditions, so I want you all to be on your best behaviour. No spoilers, no hints, no nothing. But for today, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the run. Make sure you give the runners and staff a follow if you are that way inclined. And yeah, hop onto the Discord, learn more about Worlds Collide. Keith, anything you want to share?
No, I mean that was a fun set of races. So I think the kicking off this Kefka Grand Prix, I think it's been good, and I think we have a lot of good things to look forward to. And Friday night, I think, should be entertaining to say the least. A lot more seasoned runners, but yeah, it should just be probably just as much fun. Probably a lot more people in chat from those, if anyone who already ran it can come in and hang out. So.
Well then, so that will be it for today. We'll be back on Friday, 7 PM US Eastern Time, with another race for this tournament. So make sure you come back then. But for now, it's goodbye from us, and we're going to go and host Karan as he finishes his run. Bye bye.